Hi guys, it's Milka. Welcome to my channel. Today's reading is actually one that I've had planned for a while but got a bit delayed. So today's reading is all about how people see you. Now, I do want to say this is not a first impressions video, though I'll be doing one of those in a few weeks. This is how people see you. After they've met you, they've gotten to know you a bit, they've had a few interactions with you. Just how people see you, the world sees you. We're going to be looking into a couple of things. The cards that you are choosing, we're going to look into also these oils, which I'll show you to pick from in a moment, as well as the cards. We're going to be looking into who you are, just to get a bit of an idea of who it is that you are, if this is your group or not. And then we're going to look into what are your greatest strengths. And then we're going to see how people see you, as well as how divine sees you. And yeah. So let's get right into it. So I'll start with group number one. Group number one is represented by this jasmine oil. And I may fumble around with the lighting, you guys, because I'm trying to figure out what the best kind of lighting would be for you. And group number one is represented by the stars and Gaia. Then you've got group number two with the Breathe oil from doTERRA, and that is the rainforest and manatee. Group number three is Whisper. It's a really lovely fragrance oil. Well, it's not fragrance, but I guess it is. It's an oil for smelling nice. And I believe this one's got some vanilla in there as well, like sandalwood, rose. It's like a little different thing, but it smells really nice. And then you've got Luna Moth. Group number four is the Thinker oil. It's got like peppermint. I believe it's also got rosemary. Oh, vetiver. Vetiver, clementine, peppermint. Yeah, it does have rosemary as well. It's a really nice oil. And Breathe has like eucalyptus, peppermint, and a couple other things, which I mentioned earlier. So that's group number four, and that's Fata Morgana. Then you've got Citrus Bliss, and this is just a blend of citrus fruit. So like, that would be like orange, clementine, lemon. And you have the, okay, I'm going to say this probably very wrong, but it's Halitrefis maasi. It's a rare hydrazone. Okay, you guys are a mystery. I don't know. And group number 6 is going to be the Kali oil. Oh, this one. I don't know if the light will let me show you this oil, but the Kali oil. And this one has turmeric, wild orange, cypress, vetiver, jasmine, rose, and a couple other things. And then your cards are the horseshoe crab and Pegasus. So I'm going to give you guys a moment to choose your group. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. You didn't see my finger, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Take a moment, and we're gonna jump right into the reading. Okay, group number 1, welcome to your reading. I do want to just apologize if you hear children screaming or background noise. I live near a park, and it's kind of hard to avoid. Sirens, children screaming, just a bunch of stuff. So we've got, this is the group that picked the jasmine oil or the stars and Gaia. I'll get into these cards. These are the cards that are actually going to represent who you are. But first, let me shuffle out the rest of your cards, and then we'll start the reading. Hey, group 1. So let me lay out, explain the cards to you, or show the cards to you first, and then we'll go into your reading. So you've got number 16. I believe this is the key. I don't know the names of these cards, so I'm just going to tell you what I see. 20, which is like a rose in a vase. And then 12, which is a ladybug and some kind of leaves. And then you've also got the 7 of cups, the 7 of wands, the Empress, Death, and the Queen of Wands. And then you have 3 other cards here, which I will reveal at the end, and that is what how Divine sees you. So first we'll get into who you are, group number 1. First of all, I would just like to say you guys are quite the magical beings. You are most likely starseeds. You have come with a great purpose and mission on this planet. You guys are master manifestors. The universe is on your side, and you feel completely divinely guided. Like you're on the divine path. You don't have doubt. Even if you're like, what do you mean I don't have doubt? What I mean is more like you don't have a fear that your life is just going to be meaningless or things aren't going to go to plan. You have this faith and trust in the universe, in God, in divine, in your guides, in your spiritual team, your ensemble. And you know that you're taken care of, you're provided for, and you just trust the path, you trust the mission. You allow the path to unfold itself without having to fear, like, what is the next 3 steps ahead? You've gotten to this point in your life where you understand, like, I don't need to see the next 3 steps ahead. I just need to be shown the next step each time I go, right before I step onto it. You're kind of in this place where you're just really divinely guided. And again, I feel like you've reached a certain level of spiritual enlightenment, certain level. You know, I'm not saying like you've completely mastered spirituality. It's something that I don't think we necessarily get a mastery of, because there's always just more to grasp. But it's gotten to the point where you guys have to be careful about your thoughts, because you're in this place now where you're constantly like manifesting, like quickly, instantly, you know, and you guys are really divinely guided. So if that sounds like you, then this is your group. I'm also seeing that you're somebody who's super nurturing and caring, and you are full of creation energy. And you guys make wishes and they just come true. They manifest for you. Even if you made a wish like 5-6 years ago, when you were 4 years old, you really wanted this or to be this, then you find out later on like that is part of your divine path or mission that is destined for you. You kind of have this sense of like a little bit of luck, I suppose, about you. And I will say there's like because you chose the jasmine, right? There's like a seductive quality about it too, because it's almost like an abundance, fertility, goddess-like vibe. Doesn't matter the gender. I'm just, this is just how I'm perceiving it, right? And that adds a seductive quality. You know, like there's something sensual about like the way that you move. Maybe there's more fluid motions. You know, there's something sensual about it. You don't move roughly like here, sporadic. It's more like this. You know, it's like gentle and a feminine nature. You kind of flow in. And I'm not saying float because it doesn't seem like you're ungrounded. It's more like everything goes in a flow. Okay. And then in regards to what are your strengths? What are your greatest strengths? I'm seeing that you're very lucky and very blessed. And one of your greatest strengths is that it's your sense of creation. Your ability to manifest really is one of your greatest strengths. I feel like some people have to work towards it, but it just kind of came naturally to you. Maybe you didn't even realize it when you were a kid that you were making wishes and they would happen. You know, maybe you didn't consider that manifestation. You were just like, I made a wish. Oh my gosh, my wish came true. But you guys, one of your greatest strengths really is your ability to manifest. You've also got a very kind and gentle heart. And I'm getting that, again, it's coming across as this beauty, you know, like there's a gentle beauty to you. Even if you may not feel beautiful, beauty is part of your gifts. The way that you perceive the world with almost like a romantic view. You know how some people say rose-tinted glasses, but I don't see that you're delusional. You're not delusional and you're not fooling yourself, but you choose to see the goodness of it all. You don't dwell on the negative. You don't dwell on the hard stuff. You don't deny it, but you just have this ability to not stay stuck in that place. And you have a lot of wisdom. And I feel like one of your greatest strengths, and this is actually also like a gift, is you tap into that wisdom when it's needed. And I feel like with you guys, there's still more wisdom to tap into. And you're in this phase in your life when you're getting closer and closer and taking the steps into really being able to access it at will, as opposed to just getting like a download every once in a while. You know, you're getting to the place where you're kind of fully stepping into your power. So one of your greatest strengths is that ability to tap into that universal wisdom. You guys are very, very, very wise. Like very wise. I wouldn't be surprised if people came to you for guidance. And you have, again, this gentle beauty about you. And it is one of your greatest strengths. It leads into your heart. I think it comes and stems from your compassion. And there's something like joyful about you as well. That's another one of your strengths, is like this merriment that just kind of comes with you, you know, like this, I don't want to say over the top personality, but you've got like this, you know, it kind of makes me think of the Ghost of Christmas Present from A Christmas Tale, I think it's called, or something like that. It's the one who's like super joyful and showering in gold and actually giving presents and stuff. I know it's present time, or maybe it's the Ghost of Christmas. I don't know which ghost it is, but I'm thinking of that, like a movie, and there was one who had like an orange beard, and it's more of a cartoony one. Scrooge was visited by like the scary ghost, the scary thing, like death at the end. Not that one. There was one that had like, this was an animated version of this story. And there was one that had like a crown, I think, and big orange beard and orange hair. And it's making me think of those vibes, like that kind of jovial presence, you know? And that's one of your greatest strengths. It's like a charisma. You guys have a natural charismatic charm about you, and you're wise. No wonder people would find you beautiful. I mean, and again, one of your greatest strengths is your compassion, your ability to have compassion for the world and its inhabitants, and forgiveness too. getting forgiveness as well as one of your strengths. Not many people can forgive like you do. And then how is it that people actually perceive you, or how do people see you? Again, this is not a first impressions reading so much as just how is it, like, just straight to the point. How is it that people see you? So people definitely see you. It's funny, in my last reading, there was also a pile that had a lot of divine feminine energy, and it was like the goddess pile. So this is another one of those, okay? You guys have the Empress. I think people definitely see that you guys are divinely protected. People see you as lucky as well. And again, I'm so sorry if you guys are hearing all that noise in the background. But people see you as divinely guided and lucky. People also see that you are super protected by divine. Like, they see, almost like they can sense that there's an importance about you. They can sense that they're not entirely sure how, but you are important in this life and in this world. You have like a grander mission, or a slightly bigger impact mission than some others. I'm not saying it to, like, toot your horn. But that's how it's coming across. They see you as somebody who can put on multiple hats as well. Like, you can be this person for this person, and this, like, you can be a mother for this kind of person. You can be a best friend for this kind of person. You can be a romantic partner for this kind of person. You can be a sister for this kind of person. You can be a teacher for this kind of person. You could be, a blessing for this kind of person. You can be another kind of miracle for this kind of person. You can be a manager if you have to be. You can be a follower if you have to be. You can be a student. You can be a teacher. And you do all of this already. Like, that's just part of who you are. So people see you as somebody who puts on all these different hats effortlessly. Whoever it is that you need to be in that moment, whether it's the teacher, the student, the mentor, the manager, the employee, the mother, the child, the brother, the sister, the associate, whatever it is that you have to be, like, you become. You've got this, like, remember how I said you flow? Maybe it's like this malleability in a way, right? And it's not that you're being fake, not at all. And people don't see it as fake. They're actually amazed at how you can be all of those different things for different people so effortlessly. And I feel like more than, like, the majority of the people who come across you feel like they feel like you're divinely protected and guided, but some of them may even feel like they would want to defend you. Like, they're like, I may not know you so well, but I want to defend you. Because they can tell you have this big purpose and mission. You're meant to be a light in this life, and they can sense that. You have this very magnetic, big presence, and you come in like a new beginning for people. You may get a lot of people who are going through, like, a cycle, an end of a cycle, or approaching an end of a cycle, and you come in like the light in their life. And they just see you as such a nurturing presence too. Like, so nurturing and kind. And again, it's that, like, energy, right? It's nurturing too, to put on all the different hats that you have to put on to be what you need to be for all of those individual people, almost like an eternal mother. It's, people view you very highly, you guys, very highly. And they definitely see that you're divinely protected, and they also consider you lucky. Like, they may think that you could be a lucky charm for them too, but they literally think that you are lucky. Like, they feel like you are divinely protected, like guided and protected. They see your gifts, and that's funny because these are your natural gifts, right? I'm sorry, not your gifts, your strengths, which are basically gifts at this point. Let's be real. Like, when I was saying them, these are your strengths, and so everything that I'm seeing, how people perceive you, is they see your strengths. They see your strengths. shining through, coming through, because you wear them so openly, so proudly, so boldly, like on your clothes, you know, like how some people say wearing your heart on your sleeve. You wear these things, and in a way you could be wearing your heart in your sleeve, or trying to go more towards that and embody that more compassionate heart of yours. Okay, now we're going to look into how divine perceives you. So we've got the Three of Swords, Three of Pentacles, and the Queen of Wands. Okay, divine is saying, you are my child, beloved one. Yeah, divine sees you as, again, the compassion is coming through strong here. And I'm also getting, just one moment, guys. Okay, so divine also sees you as somebody who is super passionate and full of life, full of joy and charm and charisma. They see you as somebody who is meant to work with other people, to collaborate with other people in order to help those people. That's one of your paths, I suppose you could say. Like, that's how divine would view you, as it's one of your missions or purposes. And I guess, oh, you know what? That actually makes a lot of sense with your ability to put on all those different hats. That's you collaborating with that individual. You have this ability to collaborate with individuals and be exactly what those individuals need. Sorry, hiccups, guys. Need. And so divine sees you as that, you know, they see you as that collaborator. You help people by working with them on this individual way. And you can also help create communities, I'm seeing too. Like, you help with those individuals, and in a way you create a community amongst them. Like, you help people who felt like they were going, or they have to do things on their own. And through you helping them, you create a community amongst them. So they'll be like, oh, you know, group 1, 2? Oh my gosh, group 1, blah, 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 blah. And they'll start talking about group 1, right? They'll start talking about you, or like what you may have helped with, or what they learned from. And then it creates like this friendship or community. You bring people together. Divine sees you as like a being that helps create unity, brings people together. Somebody who is an old soul, has experienced a lot, and helps heal people's hearts by creating this unity. You see, you have the Three of Swords followed by the Three of Pentacles. You take people who feel, right, that they are on their own, and you help them to see that they're not. You take these people who feel lonely and isolated, and you make them feel seen and heard, and that's part of your mission. And you help unite them with friends, guides, and team. You're a leader. Divine sees you as a leader and a great communicator. And you have this ability also to sense what it is that people want and need. And that's how you're able, and you put on the hat, right, that they need from you, or they feel like they need and want. You put on that hat so that you can reach them and help them, so they no longer feel alone. Divine sees you as this great unifier, which is kind of incredible, you guys. Quite a purpose, quite a mission. I'm not saying that's your purpose and mission, or that's the only thing, but this is just the few cards that we've got here, you know. Someone who is full of charisma. And again, I'm getting that leader vibe with this Queen of Wands. It's like you are a fierce leader, and you help ignite people, and that's part of your mission. You take them from loneliness into community and heart-centeredness, like ignitedness and passion, feeling excited about life again, feeling joy and compassion, charisma. Okay, and now we're going to do the dice for you guys. So, oh, interesting. You've got Pluto, Virgo, the 12th house. I mean, 12, number 12, and 13. Can you see the 13? I can't tell if this light is like blinding it out. I know the rose quartz is light, but this is a 13. And just going to double check really quickly. 13 in tarot corresponds with death. Okay, you've got 12, which is the end of a cycle. 13, which in tarot is death. You also have the death card here. Pluto, which represents Scorpio, which is also the death card, right? The end of a cycle, transition. And then Virgo, which is actually a healer, and they get to work, right? And they're healers. Oh, Virgo is like a healer's like sign. So, wow, you guys really remember how I said like people tend to come to you when they're at the end of a cycle? They're like 3 of these 4 dice have just confirmed that. Like people come to you at the end of a cycle, and you are the light leading them into the next phase in their life. Oh, you know, it's kind of like in the Greek mythology, right? Charon, I believe his name is, or Chiron. No, Charon. I think that's like the fairy person that leads people into Hades. Like once they die, they meet him there, and then he leads them on the river Styx to Hades, or where it is that they're meant to. And I don't mean Hades the god, I mean Hades the place. Like the afterlife. So they like the ferry boat that leads people into the afterlife. It's like that, you know, people come to you at the end of a cycle, at the end of a phase, in a hard place where they feel alone, because usually that's how it is, you know. When we're going through our hardest, we may feel like on our own, like because we have to be on our own to analyze certain things. And then there you are, this light that helps guide them and usher them into the next phase in their life. And you're a healing presence for them because of that too. Like that's one of the ways that you're a healing presence for them. Wow, you guys are pretty incredible. Okay, group number 1, that was your reading. I hope you enjoyed. Leave a comment down below, please. I would love to hear from you guys if this resonated. Maybe an experience that you would be willing to share, that something like this happened, or just in general, you know, that would be awesome. And yeah, I do also offer private readings. All the links, or not links, but the ways that you can contact me are in the description box below. I hope you guys had a wonderful day, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Lots of love and light to you guys. Bye. Hello, group number 2. This is your group if you chose the Breathe Oil or the Rainforest and Manatee cards. Okay, I'll set these cards on the side. I'll talk to you about them soon. First, I want to shuffle out the rest of your cards. Okay, group number 2. So you have number 20 with, by the way, I don't know the names of these cards. I don't really read the book, so this is like a rose and vase for me. And then you have 26. I think this is like a magic carpet. It kind of looks like the world to me, though, in tarot. And 28 with the birds. Then you also have 7 of Swords, Ace of Wands, the 6 of Cups, which I've got to say, when this one came out, I was like, oh, like I literally made an aw sound. I got such a vibe from it. The Death card, which came out in group 1 as well. The 4 of Swords. And then we have 3 cards here for how divine sees you, which we'll reveal towards the end. Okay, so first, let's talk about you. You guys are so cute and adorable, okay? Again, sorry about the noise. It's just a noisy area where I live. But you guys are so freaking cute and adorable. I'm seeing like you're so compassionate, you're so kind, you're so loving, and you operate from your heart center, which isn't a coincidence that you chose breathe, because breathe, right, that's with the lungs. The lungs are part of the heart chakra. And I'm getting that you guys operate from the heart center, but you need heart chakra healing as well. Like you care, it's like, it kind of makes me think of Chiron in astrology, right? It's the wounded healer. So with the wounded healer, it's like the way that you teach people. Hold on. Yeah. Let me rephrase that. So the way Chiron works, at least how I perceive it and how I've read about it, is that it's considered like the wounded healer, right? Where you help people or you teach the things that you need to learn. So here you advocate compassion and unconditional love, and you believe that everyone deserves unconditional love. But it's something that you need for you as well. Like maybe the compassion that you extend to other people, you need to be on the receptive end of it as well. I'm getting that you guys probably got better at it, right? But I think that still you are your own harshest critic. But again, I feel like you guys probably got better at it. And I'm sure people probably call you adorable or think you're cute too and have fond memories of you. I'm also getting that you are a breath of fresh air in a world where people are so focused on themselves and serving themselves. You are so kind and nurturing and giving and compassionate that people are just like, wow. And you're a healer too. Like your presence is so healing. It is so naturally healing. There's like a little spark about you. Like, and I'm getting that you guys could also come across as very calm and quiet. And you've got this rich inner world, right? But you come across as calm, maybe because you don't make yourself really big and loud when people first come across you, and because you're so gentle-hearted and gentle-spirited and kind, you keep a gentle presence. So I'm getting that people may see you as somebody who's a little bit more quiet, maybe a little timid, cutesy. And that doesn't necessarily mean that you actually are timid. You could have like worked on your confidence and stuff like that. But because of that healing presence and essence about you, I feel like that adds to that quietness. Like you hold a space for people. You're extremely good listeners. People probably tell you that all the time, like, hey, you're a really great listener, and you help people feel heard and seen. So if that resonated with you, then this is your group. And let's get into your strengths, your greatest strengths. So again, your greatest strength, this is making me think of that heart chakra. Your compassion, your kindness, your ability to love is infinite. It is absolutely infinite. And I'm getting that you guys have experienced a lot of hardships, and you see how you give this love to other people, but you need to be poured into too. This makes me think of like in the last pick a card, the seashell with the square shaped hole. I feel like they had a similar message. Like, look at this person, this flower is wilting. By providing the soil and nutrients to people and uplifting them, right? You're doing great, but you give so much of yourself that you wilt. I also get that you guys you go through a lot of transformations in life, different phases in your life, deaths and rebirths. And even though this is considered one of your greatest strengths, your compassion, I'm getting a little bit of advice coming through with this one too. And it's like, don't forget about yourself. In your mission and compassion to help others, do not forget about yourself. Do not forget about yourself. Yeah, sorry about the cut, guys. I'm also getting that there's something so, like, you're so for the people. One of your greatest strengths is you are so for the people. You understand people's different perspectives. And again, this is kind of really making me think of group number 1, to be completely honest with you. I don't know if you guys chose both piles, but it's giving me a group number 1 vibe. I also think that you have a bit of childlike wonder about you that some people get. It's almost like, and I think that's where the cuteness and innocence kind of comes from, right? A part of you keeps like that inner child. Like you'll see a rainbow or something, you'll be like, wow, you know, like that little bit of magic. And being able to see the magic in the world is one of your greatest strengths too. And seeing the beauty in your situation and everything. And I get that you guys really had to overcome. Sorry, I'm like lifting the mic. I'm hoping that you don't hear the ice cream truck in the back. But yeah, I'm getting that like you guys have this sense of magic, right? And I also feel, again, this is similar to pile 1, but a little different. Like you guys take on different roles for different people. And again, your strength cards, I'm getting advice with your strength cards for some reason. And the advice here is, it's wonderful how you can create these personalities and be all these people for other people, right? Because you're so selfless. Like, I want to say self-serving, but it's not, that's not the right word. It's selfless, but you compromise yourself a little too much, you guys. Make sure that you don't forget who you are at the end of the day. At the end of the day, when you come home, make sure that you don't, like, it can be a little easy for you to feel like you maybe lose your identity or what is authentically you. And that's just because you guys are empaths. You guys are empaths, so you pick up on other people's stuff too. So you have a very acute intuition. You tune in. And sound healing could be something that's really big for you guys too. Good for you. Maybe you guys like singing bowls. Maybe you can look into going to like sound healing sessions. I feel like music, because you guys have such a sensitive, gentle soul, right? That music, like the frequency and vibration of music is very important to you. And it's very healing for you. Like music helps you get through different times, like tough times in your life. Like music, I know music helps a lot of people, but like it really helps you. Like you need it in a way kind of like for your mental health. And if you sing, you guys probably have a very gentle, kind, healing, soothing voice. Or I'm getting for some of you that it's the complete opposite, that your voice is super bold, big, and strong. But I'm getting that's only for a few of you. And it contradicts like your nature. And people are kind of like, whoa, what's going on there? What? Has this person kind of been like lying about who they really are? But I'm getting that's only for some of you. Because people are just kind of so like shocked by what comes out of you. They're like, where did that come from? Also seeing that one of your greatest strengths, yeah, I'm seeing you in a way you're kind of like an everyman. You can fit any shoe because you can embody anything. And make sure you don't lose your identity in doing that. But it makes you a powerful channel. Like you guys could be very powerful channelers. Like you could even be mediums, like psychic mediums, like channeling through messages from divine, from spirits, spirit guides, ancestors, like past loved ones. Like you are a conduit, right? It's like you're this vessel and things just kind of go in and out of you. And you have this very like whisper-esque connection with divine and the universe and the world around you. And I feel like you guys would be the people who really appreciate birds. You know, like if you see like birds on the street, you're not going to walk through them. You're going to walk all the way around so that they don't have to fly, you know? And with the birds, I'm getting that. Oh, you know what? Actually, remember how I was saying the singing and the music? So the birds, I think you guys probably have a very beautiful singing voice, and you have a very acute way, not cute, but like acute, like that one word, way of speaking or singing, that it makes people listen. And maybe you say it in such a gentle way that people have to kind of like really turn their ears, but it really grabs their attention because there's something about your presence, since you hold the space for people, that makes people listen. So I'm getting that one of your gifts, also one of your strengths, is your voice, your ability to vocalize or speak. The way that you speak, people listen. And it's powerful, like it's profound. The things that you guys say is profound. That's one of your strengths. Now let's move on to how people see you. So, and again, this is not like first impressions. So this is just how people see you. I'm getting that some people feel like you could be somebody that is easily taken advantage of because you're so kind and gentle. Some people may think that it may be easy to step over you. And they may think that it may be easy to take advantage of you. I'm not saying that those people would take advantage of you that are thinking that. I'm just saying that this is kind of how, this is what I'm picking up, you guys, you know, so I'm going to be honest. I'm not, so, and again, I'm not saying that the people who perceive that are all going to be like trying to betray you or something. I don't think that's it. I just think that they kind of see you as maybe a little bit, like the people who are not really listening or spiritually tuned and like stuck in their own funk and drama and world, and they're not trying to improve it. Like those kinds of people may like they may perceive you as being kind of gullible, but other people just see you as somebody who might be able to be taken advantage of. And I think people who are a little bit more spiritually attuned, or who kind of get to know you a little bit more, will know that you're not. Like you can kind of start tracing where people are trying to take advantage of you, and then you will say something. But I think because of your soft-spoken nature, people can kind of assume that maybe you can be a little gullible or easy to take advantage of. Or it also seems like it's like some people may think that you give so freely that they could take advantage of how much you give. So there are some people who feel like they could take advantage of how much you give and just keep taking. And there are some people who kind of see how others could just keep taking from you because you give so freely. And they just see, like, this 6 of Cups is like the star of this reading, to be honest with you. It's the one that really made me make a noise when it came out. And every time I look at it, I feel really drawn to this. You guys are so kind. You are so kind. Like, people look at you as the most sweetest, kindest person. They see you as somebody who just gives unconditionally. You give and you give and you give and you give. And maybe you're somebody also that, like, they could see needs alone time to kind of regenerate, because you give so much that you need to be completely on your own, especially since you guys are empaths, to isolate your energy and come back to you. And I see that some people see that you give to the point of creating lack for yourself sometimes. So this could be a past energy. It doesn't mean that that's who you are right now. They also see you as somebody who's spiritual and has a lot of spiritual truths and knowledge. And like you give sage-like advice. And there's that ice cream truck again. And they could see you as somebody who's easily excitable and fun. Let's see if I can pick up anything else before moving on to how Divine sees you. Sorry about the cut, guys, but yes, they also see you as a healer, like a healing presence. They can feel your healing presence. That's how people perceive you as well. And I think they kind of see you like cute and gentle and sweet, but then they also kind of see like a firecracker aspect of you every once in a while, and they think that's cute too. Like you put out a little spark, you know, like if you get really passionate, if someone is like saying something mean to somebody else and you're like, hey, that's not nice, you know, something about the way you stand up for other people is like cute to them because they see you as so soft, and soft-natured and gentle and kind, and like when you put out little sparks, they're like, oh, that's so cute, look at that, you know. So I think people really think that you're cute, and that you defend the little guy as well. Okay, now let's look at how divine perceives you. You have the Four of Cups, the Nine of Swords, and the High Priestess. Yeah, I think divine sees you as somebody, it's like I'm really getting, it's like your body is like an instrument to attune to divine. And divine sees you like that. Like your body is an instrument to attune to divine messages. And I'm getting like it's almost like they're saying and they're showing, like, we see that this person has been through a lot of hardships, and it's like you guys have a lot of self-sacrificing that you do. And it keeps you up at night. Maybe you guys feel like you have to give from yourself in order for other people to be happy. Like you just feel like you constantly have to keep sacrificing yourself for other people. But they're saying here, like, that's not the case. You don't have to keep sacrificing yourself for people. Just tune into divine and you'll know exactly what to do and how to be. But that doesn't mean that you kind of have to serve your heart on a platter. So I guess divine really is coming through here with more advice, if anything, because you guys got a lot of advice with your strength cards too. You know, it's almost like they're saying we've seen, yeah, and it's almost like divine is like saying, it's kind of like they're calling you out with this Four of Cups, to be honest with you. It's like, we tried to show this person, we tried to show group number 2, like, hey, you don't have to be alone. Even though the High Priestess is alone, she's so tuned into spirit, spirit surrounds her, you know. They're like, you don't have to be doing it all on your own. You don't have to sacrifice yourself. You can just find a way to reconstruct your approach to how you help heal people and be there for people and show kindness and compassion for people, because they want you to show that kindness and compassion to yourself. And they're kind of calling you out with this card for me. Like, they're like, hey, like, we tried showing group number 2, like, you're lovable, you're worthy of love, which, by the way, you guys, oh, funnily enough, since we talked about the music here, so I guess it's not like I'm trying to be doing, you know, shameless self-promo here, but I do have an affirmation song for the heart chakra, and it's I Am Lovable, right? And it's on my YouTube channel if you want to check it out, because I really believe that the music that we listen to, that becomes our mantra, you know, because it gets stuck in your head on repeat, and so you affirm it every time in your head like a mantra. That's the energy. And I'm getting like that could be like really helpful for you guys, that affirmation song, to help reaffirm for you, like, you are lovable, you are so worthy of love, you deserve love, you don't have to keep serving your heart on a platter all cut up for other people to eat up. That's not the only way to give love. There's another way to give love, and one of the greatest ways you can see is by bringing your heart together, making it whole, and giving and the only way to make it whole is by giving love to it, you know. So really the way divine is mainly coming at you, you know, with that advice, like, hey, there's no need to self-sacrifice. There's no need to self-sacrifice. Maybe that's something from a past life for you guys, or a karmic thing, but remember, you don't have to sacrifice yourself in order to help other people feel worthy or loved, or, you know, you don't have to be less than for somebody else to be feeling great. You can both be great. You don't have to put yourself down or belittle yourself. Okay, let's get some dice for you guys. Sorry if that turned kind of preachy, you guys. It's just kind of how it came out. You have Aquarius, number 4. The North Node. And I'm not surprised by this. And number 6. Okay. So I'm getting right. It's part of your nature to be so nurturing and caring and kind. And it's part of your mission and purpose to help humanity. And so you take on this role, right? By being like this eternal nurturer and mother and friend to everybody unconditionally, except for yourself. And I'm getting like it's because that's part of your mission. That's part of your purpose, to serve the world in that way, right? However, there's two approaches. Like with this 4 of Cups, you see 2 of the cups have crystals in them, 2 of them are empty. There's 2 approaches. You could either do it with the self-sacrificing way, which is not sustainable, and divine doesn't want you to continue to suffer unnecessarily, especially. Or you can do it with the crystals, where you fill your cup and then you can help fill other people's cups. And that's just part of your purpose. You know, you guys, at the 6 in numerology, it's making me think of relationships and love and friendships and family and kindness. You know, like you guys are very, very heart-centered. So, and the 4 is making me think of the 4th house, which is ruled by Cancer. And Cancer is like the mother of the zodiac. So you guys are very motherly, nurturing, caring, kind. And it's time for you to self-nurture. Okay, you guys need to go into a little period of self-nurturing. I hope this was helpful for you guys. I hope you enjoyed your reading. I would love to hear from you guys in the comments down below, if it resonated with you. And actually, group number 2, I would like for you to affirm in the comments down below. Put down an affirmation, a new affirmation for yourself about self-love. How will you love yourself more? I will love, for example, I will love myself more by nourishing and feeding my soul with creativity or my creative expression. I will love myself more by following my dream, my purpose, my mission, my passion. I will love myself more by giving myself a bath once a week in bath salts with a bath bomb and oils. I will love myself more, etc., etc. I would love to get one of those from you guys. Just down below. That would be awesome. I would love to see you guys step into your new next stage and phase of power and love for yourself and kindness for yourself by affirming what it is in the comments down below that you guys are going to be stepping into now and changing more or less. So however the saying goes. Okay, you guys, I hope you enjoyed your reading. Like I said, leave a comment down below. I would love to hear from you. Also, I do offer private readings, or personal readings, I suppose. And the ways to contact me will be in the description box below. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Sending you lots and lots of love. Remember, you are lovable. You're worthy of love. Okay? Bye, group 2. Hello. Group number 3, this is your group if you chose the Whisper Oil or the Luna Moth, which I just realized was upside down the whole time, but that's okay. First, I'm going to apologize for the background noise because it is an active time of the day outside in my neighborhood. And next, I'm going to lay out all your cards and then we'll start your reading. Okay, guys? Okay, group 3, welcome back to your reading. I know it was like a second for you, but it was a moment for me. So, we've got a lot going on here, you guys. These are your cards. I'll start by showing them to you. You've got... so I don't know the names of these cards. I'm just going to give you what I see. So it's the number 2 And person with wings, angel-like thing on a unicycle. I don't know. A fool. 25 with fish. 26 with this magic carpet world-like thing going on there. Then you've also got the 5 of cups. The Emperor. Page of Cups. The Tower. The World. The Sun. And I will say you guys got the most cards so far, like for realsies. These cards are what Divine thinks of you, right? How Divine sees you. You guys literally got like a pile, okay? Everybody else was getting 3. You guys got a pile. So we'll go into those after, though. Okay. So who you are as a person. You guys have been through a lot of death and transformation. I feel like one of your biggest lessons in this life so far has been in balancing how you assert yourself. I'm getting like sometimes you could be kind of like a bit of a dictator, for lack of a better word, and sometimes you flow between like giving in too much or being too much, like ordering around too much, like control issues a bit. Like you guys may have a tendency to be controlling. I think that's the better word, not dictator, but controlling, kind of like a commander, you could say. I'm also getting, you guys could be kind of quick in the way that you do things. Like it may not necessarily always be quick, but people are like, oh my gosh, you did that so quickly. You know, like it'll be like, for example, right? Say you're cleaning the house and you do everything like the way it needs to be done. I'm getting like Virgo, Capricorn, Taurus, I guess, earth sign vibes from you guys a little bit, to be honest. Or with the Virgo, Gemini switch to like Mercury kind of energy a bit. And maybe Mars. But yeah, sorry about that. That's just for some of you guys. If you're not one of those, that doesn't mean this is not your reading. But yeah, I'm getting that you guys can get ultra focused on those things and get them done. And because like just by the time you're done, even though you could have spent like 2 hours cleaning the house or an hour cleaning the house, people will look at you like, oh my gosh, you did so quickly and so efficiently. Like I think like people sometimes don't see you coming. Like you get things done, you get it sorted so like done, you know. It's almost, it makes me think of like overnight success. You know how some people are like, oh, they're just, you know, they were lucky, they're an overnight success, but it actually takes like many years to build to an overnight success, like years of effort and attempts, and like you gain a slow following, and then like at some point it just kind of skyrockets. But it's not like it just skyrockets out of nowhere. It's like people don't see the year. It's kind of like that. That's what it makes me think of. Like people don't see all that effort you put in before. They're just like, oh my gosh, overnight success. I think some people could also kind of envy you sometimes because of that. They don't realize like all the effort that it took to get to where you are. Because I'm seeing like you guys are in a good position as well. Most likely in a position of power. Even if you just work in like a store, you know, you command a little bit of respect. Like people come to you with in regards to like what should I do or advice, you know, like even maybe the supervisors, if you're not a supervisor, right, if you're a little lower in the pyramid, I guess, in that sense, supervisors would even come to you for advice or what you think. Maybe even like managers or people in higher up positions, if you're not the person in a slightly higher up position, like people continue to come to you for advice. I'm also getting, let's see, like it took a lot of effort for you to get to where you, oh, and you know what's so funny? How I was saying, like, people don't see the progress that was happening before, and then it just becomes an overnight success, right? It's like you work quietly. You work quietly. You just buckle down. That's why I was getting earth sign vibes. You buckle down, you get the work done, and then you come out. You like come out, like, oh, I did this, by the way. And people are like, what? When did you even get the chance to do that? Like, how did this person do all of that? It's because, like, you guys don't talk. I'm getting such Virgo vibes, particularly more so Virgo, it's like you guys don't talk about it. You do, and then you share. So you may be the type of person also who, like, you don't like talking about the things that you're working on because you want to actually, like, create a bit of a foundation in those things, and then you start sharing it with people. You wait for the perfect timing. Yeah, like, you guys also know how to sense what the perfect timing is. Okay. So if that sounds like you, I feel like I may add to it a little later too, but we'll see. If that sounds like you, then this is your group number 3. So now let's get into your strengths, your greatest strengths. Okay. I'm getting, like, in regards to your greatest strengths, like, you guys could be really good with communicating with people from other countries. I know that's, like, super specific, but I feel like there's something about you where you can understand different cultures, right? Like, you don't become judgmental. You just kind of have a vaster way of perceiving the world. So you're good with people from other countries, and people from other countries and other cultures feel comfortable around you because they don't feel like they have to explain themselves. Like, you just kind of, you're a bit of a worldly person. So I feel like you get along with people from different cultures and countries. Like, you get along with different kinds of people, and you understand them too, like, more naturally than some other people. Like, for example, if somebody grew up sheltered, like, their whole life and only knew about their culture, and they saw somebody doing something completely different, they'd be like, what's wrong with them? Why do they do that? But you naturally kind of, like, understand, like, oh, this person is from there, they must do that there, yeah, oh my gosh. And even with the fish, I'm getting, like, I know this is meant to be your strengths, but I'm really getting, like, maybe some of you guys also speak multiple languages. But you have a knack for communication with people from foreign countries. And even this is making me think of the Fool, kind of like the Fool in tarot. And it's really giving me that travel vibe as well. Like, all 3 cards are giving me travel vibes. So I don't know if you guys, and this is technically wings, right? So you can get around. I don't know if you guys are really big into travel and adventure and, like, going to foreign countries and having foreign experiences, because this is meant to be your strengths, but sometimes what comes through. So I guess one of your greatest strengths is also your adaptability, because in order to be able to go to these different cultures and countries and communicate with people of these different backgrounds, you have to be able to be adaptable, and even though this is a different kind of moth, it's kind of making me think of a silkworm, and, like, because silkworms are moths, so they used to be able to fly, but because they've been used for silk for so long, they have lost the ability to fly. And I don't mean that in a negative way. I'm just, like, using it as an example of, like, that adaptability. They kind of, like, adapted to how they had to be, I guess, or how it is for them. It's kind of a sad life for a silkworm. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm getting with you guys. That adaptability, that fluidness, like, you guys are just able to make it work. And maybe some of you guys also feel like you kind of get more connections with people from other countries or foreign countries than you do in your own country. Like, maybe you're understood better in other countries. Maybe you guys are planning a trip to another country, or you're thinking about moving to one as well. Again, this is meant to be your greatest strengths, but I'm seeing, like, you would do good in another country. So if somebody wanted to move to another country, or you're thinking about it or thinking of visiting, you could take this as a sign to maybe go and do that or look into that further. And then we've got the bells to confirm. Okay. Let's see what else I can get, because this is, again, was meant to be your strength. So again, I'm getting like you guys kind of like have this sense of adventure, you know, and there's a little bit of risk. Like you don't mind taking a little bit of a risk in order to get to where you need to get. And that's actually a really great strength, because a lot of people are so afraid to take action, or so afraid of like their gifts or certain things. And so they're afraid to take action, and they don't actually go for the things that they want. But you guys just have this strength to, you're like, well, I'm going to have to take this risk in order to get there. So I'm going to take the risk, you know, like you guys are just naturally good at that. But I get it. Remember how I was saying about the control issues? So maybe it was like a calculated risk, you know, which is so contradictory, because this person surrenders control. So I don't know if you guys have worked on yourselves, or I think the control will play into the Emperor once we get into it. But yeah, so you guys have that flexibility. Yeah. And you have a vast ability to comprehend things. I feel like you guys are extremely intellectual, because you're able to understand different cultures and different mindsets. So you have to have a bit of an expansive mind in order to accommodate that which is not something that you're used to, that is foreign to you, and be able to, without a negative preconceived notion, accept that and try to rationalize it and make it work with your way of viewing the world and reality. And I'm getting that you guys are good at picking up languages. For some of you, like you're good at picking up languages. And if you don't speak other languages, it could also be kind of like if you're speaking with somebody who speaks predominantly in slang, you'll pick up on that vibe and lingo, and you'll talk back to them in slang. Or if somebody's speaking super posh, you're going to speak back to them in posh. Like the way that you verbalize and communicate is extremely adaptable to whoever it is you're communicating with. And I think that that has helped you succeed, or will help you succeed in business. It helps you reach a different market or clientele or something like that. And then in regards to how people actually perceive you, again, with the world card here, I feel like people look at you as somebody who's super worldly, like somebody who travels, who has this adventure aspect to them, who can be kind of like a force of nature. And interesting. Okay, remember how I was saying I was getting I said dictator, which was the wrong word, but like that authority kind of vibe with this Emperor too. I feel like people look at you as like they come to you almost as if you're an authority figure, even if you're not necessarily. Like you just have this vibe. And I think that's part of your risk-taking, like analytical risk-taking, or just risk-taking energy, you know, the fact that you're willing to take a risk in order to get the outcome that you need, because you know, I'm going to have to take this risk, so you do it. There's a certain energy that exudes out of you from that. And I think it's a very strong energy. And maybe you guys have a little bit more, people perceive you with a slightly bit more of a masculine energy, like you're direct, you go towards the thing. And that doesn't mean like you're a man or a woman or whatever. Masculine energy and feminine energy just have certain traits and characteristics that are associated with them. So like masculine energy is more direct, it's more to the point, it goes straight for the goal. You know, feminine energy is more flowy, so it focuses more on the journey, whereas masculine energy focuses like here, you know, like this is the task at hand, this is how I will approach it. What are the more analytical stance? You know, feminine energy is like, this is the task at hand, I'm going to try to maneuver away, figure out a way. Like there's just more flow to it. You guys are a little bit more direct. I feel like, or even direct feels like a wrong word. Like you guys have a balance. I'm not saying that you're more masculine than feminine. I just feel like people perceive you as being somebody who's a little bit more like assertive, I guess you could say. Like almost like you've got your shit together, you know? You're somebody who takes risks. Like it's not something you're afraid of. Like it makes people feel like you've got your shit together. I'm also getting Mars energy here. I know the Emperor is like Aries and that's Mars, but this Tower card, I don't know what the ruling planet for it is, but I'm getting like a Mars energy. Oh, actually, I can look it up really quickly. Hold on. What is the ruling planet for the tower? Oh, it is Mars. It is Mars in Aries. Oh, okay. That makes sense. So I normally don't pick up on that vibe, but this was just giving me that strong Mars energy and vibe, which again adds to that kind of masculine, like driven energy. I feel like people think like you're calm under pressure, and kind of like they get like you have a big presence, like kind of like you're a force of nature in a way. Like I think I said that already. And even with the sun card, like I'm getting like people consider you like a traveler too. Like there's something worldly about you. Like okay. I also kind of get that maybe some people perceive you as somebody who masks their true feelings, emotions. Like you kind of put on a bit of a front, but it's almost as if you kind of have to. So people don't always know what it is that you're feeling. You put out what you want them to see. You put out how you want them to perceive you, or how you want them to feel about you. So like when it comes to your true feelings, like sadness, I'm talking about sadness, and the ice cream truck is playing again. Sorry, you guys. But like that true sadness or like grief that you guys may experience, or like loneliness, stuff like that, it's like you guys mask it, you hide it. So people kind of get like, you hide certain aspects of your personality or yourself, or when you go through hardships, like you have to put on this strong front, right? Like people get that you put on this, and it's not that they perceive it as being fake. It's just they kind of sense your strong front more, and like your charm and your charisma and how you play more. And I think that goes partially into like that deception aspect, right? They're like, this person like went from here to here, like what? When do they get to something like that? I think like people don't necessarily, even though this is how people see you, I kind of feel like not everyone necessarily picks up on the things that you had to go through to get to where you got, except for like a select few. But like, so you're surprisingly chipper for having such a journey. Like you guys are really good at like hunkering down and doing what you have to do to get done. You just do what you have to do. Like it's quite impressive, really. And I think that's why I was getting that Virgo Capricorn vibe. And, you know, I said this in a couple other piles before, but I feel like you guys kind of, again, like how people come to you, like I guess that you guys kind of give like sage advice in a way. You know, you help people get a different perspective and see things differently, perceive the world differently. And I feel like you kind of get like ahead in life. Oh, you know, I'm also seeing like your way of doing things is not the norm. You don't perceive things as the norm. Like even if something seems like super obvious, most people won't do it because it feels uncomfortable, or they're just like, oh, I'm just gonna let this thing pass. But you see how like this fish, right, is the only one facing the opposite direction, and like this Fool like energy, right, has the same pattern in the dress or the gown. It's kind of like that. That's the kind of vibe that I'm getting from you guys. It's like you go against the grain. Your method may not be the method that most people take, or they may not actually get to the place that they want to get to because they're not willing to do the things that you're willing to do. You do the things that you have to do, even if it means you have to put in 10 years of work. You put in that 10 years of work. That's one of your strengths too. Like you put in the work that you have to do. You just do it. you do it. And honestly, you guys, that's very, very impressive, because not many people have like the stamina or the dedication or the drive to get the things done that they have to get done. And for you, it just like, you get it done. You get it done. And that is a strength. That's why you're here as the emperor. You're here in the seat of power, because you know what you have to do. You know the decisions you have to make, whether they're easy or not, fun or not, and you do it. You get them done. You have to get it done, and you get it done. You know? I think people feel like they can also rely on you. And again, I'm getting that like Mars energy, masculine energy. That could be drive. I think some people really sense like that drive in you, but it also kind of feels reserved. Like, remember how you did that? I was saying like doing it all kind of like on the own until it's time to speak about it. It's like a composed energy with like stuff going on in the background. And I'm not saying complete chaos going on in the background, but it's like you guys have this like electric energy going on, and then you have your calm, like shell facade like thing. And people sense that energy coming from within, and they also sense that composure, you know. And I think you get a lot of people, especially like guys, admiring that. When I say guys, I mean like, I feel like you get a lot of like, I don't know why that's the thing that came through, but like guys admiring it. And I don't mean in a romantic way. Like if you're like, I don't fly that way. I don't mean in a romantic way. I just think like that kind of drive and dedication, like a lot of guys are like, that's something I want to be able to do or have. I think it's impressive for them. Kind of like people aspire to you or kind of look up to you in some sense. Okay, and now let's see how divine perceives you. You guys got a ton of cards for this. So the Tower, which is funny because you got the Tower twice. The Moon. Temperance, you have a lot of major arcana cards. Strength, oh, you legit have a lot of major arcana cards. The Sun, again. Seven of Wands. Five of Cups, again. Two of Pentacles. And the Three of Swords. I'm just going to organize them really quickly. See what I can get done here. Give me a moment. Okay, guys, I'm seeing the way that divine perceives you. I believe that divine kind of sees you as this force of nature too. And again, you guys are kind of giving me like a guy vibe, but I think it's because of that masculine energy that was coming through. So even if you're not a man watching, it's just because of that assertive, like divine masculine energy. We'll say divine masculine because it's not negative masculine traits, just like divine feminine is not negative feminine traits. It's like the healthiest form of those energies. Yeah, and even with the sun, right, that solar plexus, it's like you guys are like a really powerful energy. Like it's just so powerful. And I think for anyone with like a feminine energy, it would feel extremely seductive. And I also get that you guys have a very rich inner world. Like people may see you as like somebody who's calm and composed with this like electricity behind them, you know, like this charge behind them. But divine is also perceiving you as somebody who is in tune. Like maybe people don't necessarily see your intuition or you're following divine guidance. Like they don't necessarily perceive it. But divine is like, yes, that's kind of like that's how you act, that's how you operate, that's how you activate. And like there's a divine balance of this inner world within you. And you guys are very, very strong. And again, it's like that divine masculine energy. It just feels like so stable and supportive and like providing. And I'm there when you need me. I'm a solid foundation. I'm like, that's just how it feels like. Okay, sorry for the cut, you guys. I'm also seeing that you guys are really good at overcoming. Like divine is almost saying like there was a grief that you kind of experienced, possibly romantically, possibly in family life, or both. And you chose to overcome. It's like you had this decision. Do I wallow in it? Do I stay here? Do I make decisions and outcomes out of this hurt place? Or do I move past it? And I think that's like part of that energy where you guys just kind of keep moving forward. Whatever work you have to, moving forward. Let me finish that word. Whatever energy you have to, or whatever it is that you have to do, you do it. You get past it. And you guys have a divine Zizzi as somebody who has this incredible way of coping with things. Like even with this grieving, it's like the grieving didn't happen long, you know? You grieved and then you're like, okay, it's time for me to keep moving forward. And maybe some people may have perceived you as cold or heartless before because of that. They're like, well, if you can move forward, like say normally people grieve for 3 months, but you moved forward in like 6 weeks. You must have not really cared. And it's not that you didn't really care. It's just you realize that life keeps moving on and keeps going. And you keep going. It doesn't mean that you cared any less. You could just be just as hurt, but you keep going. You keep moving forward. And it's very, very admirable. And you guys are very, 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 very powerful, okay? Like extremely powerful. You have so many major arcana cards. I feel like you guys have a very big mission with divine as well. Like there's a big purpose and mission for you guys. There's a reason why you're able to, why your natural strengths are to communicate with other people, why your natural strengths are or why people perceive you with such a high presence and energy. Why with this card initially I picked up on a bit of controlling tendency. It's because there's like that leadership that is just naturally innately within you. There's like you're meant, like there's just a higher purpose for you, for your being here. And I also get that divine sees you as somebody who's like a defender a defender of people, and like a defender again, that goes into that divine masculine energy, that protective energy. Like you see with this card, this person is like ready to defend this little creature, you know. And this person, for me, like the vibe is very calm, composed. It's just part of what you have to do, you know. And it's very, very admirable. And you know what, with all this masculine Mars energy, like some of you guys could be like warrior spirits, or in past lives you could have actually been like warriors or like Roman soldiers, you know, like that could have been a prominent past life in this incarnation as well. And it's interesting that you guys got the Tower twice, the Sun twice, the Five of Cups twice. You guys have like double cards, like extra emphasis. Like there's extra emphasis on your purpose and mission here. And you guys are meant to lead the way in a certain manner of saying, like, I really don't think, I mean, again, this is a general reading, but I really don't think that you guys are, for example, if you work in just like a department store, I really don't think that your purpose and mission is just to be like a manager there, you know, though that could be, again, because this is a general reading, you know, but I feel like quite a few of you have like a higher purpose or mission. Like you're meant to be a leader in whatever it is that field that you desire to pursue. And I feel like people come to you in times of chaos because they feel like you can handle it. And with this Tower card, I almost wanted to say, I feel like God comes to you in times of chaos and gives you or lends you that chaos because you can handle it. Like you can handle a lot. You're very, very, very powerful and strong presence. And I think like you have like this kind of empath ability as well, because with the moon there is like that intuitive ability, you know, and it's like a subtle sensing, and I feel like you guys have that ability to sense the space or what people need, and you just kind of know, you know, like if somebody comes, you kind of sense this person is scared. Like this is just an example, right? But if somebody like runs in because like for example, okay, say you're like this emperor, right? You're like a manager in a store, and some woman comes in because she's being harassed by somebody, and she doesn't say anything to you, but you kind of like, she looks at you for a moment like with a slight distress, like a little fear, and you sense that energy. You sense her in like your body. Maybe you guys are also clairsentient, which is like receiving intuitive messages or feeling energies like with your physical body, you know, like maybe when there's like a presence in the room, you get a shiver, like you can sense it more. You receive information through your physical body or the act of physically doing something, which actually works with having a lot of earth energy, actually, or having some kind of earth energy. But like that woman will come in and you kind of sense that distress, like almost like in your skin, you know, like you sense like little I don't even know how they're called, like energy waves, right? Energy signals, like how Spider-Man has like hairs that stand. It's kind of like that. You externally sense it, that vibe from her. Like your hairs pick up your spidey senses are tingling, and your hairs pick up that distress from her, and you kind of go into action, right? Or this person goes into action and kind of like acts as like a strong protective figure. So like if that guy who was harassing her walked into the store, right, automatically like this manager person would come, stand next to her, and she would feel instantly safe and secure, like she's protected, almost like a king with their subjects, right? And that person would I know this is a really long example, you guys, but bear with me. So that harasser would come into the store, they would see that person, they may feel a little intimidated, or they may not at first, and they may say, hey, I'm trying to get to her, and then the manager will be like, no, like firmly and just stably, like no fear, just no, you're not allowed to. And that harasser would be like, oh man, you know, kind of like how Dora went, swiper, no swiping, and that was enough. It's like you guys you'll say no, and that's enough, because you just have so much authority in your presence and in your voice and the way that you control the space and room. That was a really long story to just kind of get to the point of what I was trying to say, but it's kind of like that. And I think maybe because sorry, the headphone fell, but I think maybe because I gave such a distinctive story, I feel like you guys are actually very creative and imaginative, and I think the moon emphasizes that too. Like you guys have a rich inner world, and I think like you kind of censor how many aspects or what parts the rest of the world can see of that. Like some people may see you as just like business or corporate, right? But that's not necessarily the case. It's just that's the face that you're putting on for the job that you're doing because you have to. but like beyond that, like you're actually like a really charming, fun personality. Like maybe you've got that wanderlust, you're pretty joyful, you know how to make light of a hard situation, and because you've gone through some kind of hardship in your life, you know how to help be like a joy and a light. Like those things don't define you, they don't stop you from being happy, they keep you humble, I think, and they keep you relating to people. But I think that you, because of your ability to move on, you can still be happy, you can keep happy, and that's how divine also perceives you as well. Okay. I know that was a lot you guys had. I think you probably had a bit of a longer reading than the others. I'm not sure though, we'll find out later. I'm going to roll your dice to see any additional messages for group 4. Okay, you've got Aquarius, 7, 4, which I don't know if you can see because of the glare, but, or whatever. Hopefully you were able to see it. If not, then just know it's a 4. And then you have the South Node, which is interesting because the last group had the North Node. And they also had Aquarius, actually, interestingly enough. And they had the number 4, but on one of the other dice. That's funny. Okay. So, with your dice, again, remember how I said you guys have like that greater purpose and mission? That's what I'm getting with this Aquarius and this South Node. Because the opposite of the South Node is the North Node. So if your South Node is in Aquarius, that means your North Node is in Leo. South Node is the past. It's what you came in with. North Node is what it is you're meant to accomplish, like your purpose and mission in life, right? So with the North Node in Leo, Leo is the leader. It's the king. It's the lion. You're meant to have this leadership position, to have this like charismatic presence and essence, like this big, bold energy. You're meant to be a leader, to usher in this kind of new phase or age in whatever it is that you do. And with the Aquarius and the South Node, I'm also kind of, it brings me back to like when we were talking about the travel and like being able to adapt to like different situations or other countries or foreign countries, or feeling like you belong in another country than like where, say where you were born, for example. That kind of makes me think of that too. And then we've also got the 4 and the 7. 4 plus 7 is 11, which is a master number. So again, I feel like that's extra emphasis that you guys have a big important mission in this incarnation, and divine is strongly guiding you and with you, because look at all these major arcanas. The majority of your cards, I feel like, are major arcana, if not half. Let's see, we can count it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 minor arcana. So yeah, the majority of your cards are major arcana. So yeah, you guys are definitely really powerful beings. Like whoever you are, I've got to say, I'm impressed. Okay. You have a very masterful big purpose and mission, and 47 is 11. Aquarius, the humanitarian, the changer of perspective, and you know, like ushering in new ages and change, right, for the world. That's the 11th house and the 11th sign. So extra emphasis on that. It's part of your mission. And I'm also thinking for small, like a collective of you that chose this group, maybe this was part of your mission in a past life, and maybe it didn't fully get fulfilled, or something cut it short, like some kind of accident or something that was unplanned cut it short. And so in this incarnation, you're meant to continue following through with that mission in the way that you're doing it now. And like you naturally are good, like your natural strengths, like your strengths are strengths from that incarnation too. And obviously that message will be for a select few of you as well. And yeah, I feel like the 4 and 7 are just extra emphasis of that energy, like that divine mission and purpose and guidance. Like you guys are divinely guided. And I don't think people necessarily see that about you. I think people think you're like self-made. I want to say self-made man, but kind of like a self-made person, right? But I think that it's because they don't necessarily realize, just because, again, there's certain parts that you keep hidden. They don't see the work that happened right before the overnight success. They didn't realize, like, all that stuff that you did, all the connection, whatever, it may have been prayer, whatever. Like, they didn't see that. They just see the overnight success. So they don't see, like, some people don't see how connected you are to spirit and divine and God and, like, the universe and that aspect of you. They kind of just see who you are now, like that big presence and essence and like that authority figure, dominant figure in a way, with that masculine energy. So the intuition and psychic parts are kind of subtle. And maybe some of you guys thought it was just like a sixth sense, not realizing that it was like a psychic ability, but it is kind of like a psychic ability. It's part of your intuition. Yeah. Okay, guys. And the sixth sense is kind of like intuition, I believe, at least. All right, you guys, that was your reading. Sorry if it took too long or if there was a lot of like mumbling or bumbling around. This is very interesting. It was super cool reading for you guys. If it resonated for you, please let me know. And if you feel, like, in the comments below, and if you feel up to it, I would love to hear like what your field is that you would like to make this difference or change in. That would be pretty cool too. All right, you guys. I'm also offering private readings too. So if you wanted to do one of those, the way to contact me is in the description box below. Other than that, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Lots of love and light to you. And I will applaud you for your mission and purpose. I don't know if you can hear the applause. Okay. For your mission and purpose and such a big, powerful presence, you guys. It's kind of incredible. I was even kind of feeling it a little. And I'm not going to lie, it felt nice. It felt so secure. Yeah, it was incredible. You guys are great. Have a wonderful rest of your day, guys. Bye. Hello, group number 4. This is your pile if you chose, or group, if you chose the thinker oil, which is funny how I just overthought that. But yeah, this is your pile if you chose group. Oh my gosh. If you chose the thinker oil or the Fata Morgana card. And I'll talk to you guys more about this card once I pull the rest of your cards. So I'll be back in just a moment. Okay, group number 4. You guys, I just shuffled your cards. Oh my gosh. There is one card, you will see it closer to the end. I felt so much heat from that one card. I would say some people might say that you were kind of dangerous, group number 4. Not in a scary way. I mean, it's some, you'll see what I mean when I get into it. Okay, it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing at all. Sorry about the cut, you guys, but let's start with your cards. So you've got, I don't know the names of these cards, so it's whatever I call them and the number. So 14 with the treasure chest. 4 with this Medusa snake thing. 19 with this like tower, castle, fort thing. And then we've got the 9 of Cups. The 9 of Pentacles, the Ace of Pentacles, the Hermit, the Hanged Man, my bad, and the Devil. And then we've got a bunch of cards that are how divine perceives you, which we'll get into afterwards. But you guys, okay, first off, I would just like to say, why do I feel like some of you are here from group number 3? If that's the case, hello. Because actually, you know what, during the reading of group number 3, I kept wanting to say group number 4, even though I didn't, but I kept wanting to. So if you chose both piles, hello. Okay, you guys. So I think you guys have a very active imagination, and you guys are very powerful manifestors, right? Yeah. I see like you guys are manifestors. You're extremely creative, and that creative energy gives you this like ability to make whatever it is that you want into a physical reality. And you can perceive things that a lot of other people don't, or you come up with these ideas and ways of thinking that other people don't naturally come to. You're extremely unique in that sense. And I would say like that you get kind of a few people that are kind of impressed with you. And I think with your rich inner world, it may have been very hard for you to find people who are equally as imaginative or creative or perceive the world like you do. For example, right, there's this artist on Instagram. He does, oh my gosh, I can't recall. But basically he does these little like alien sketches, right, where he makes like, it's really funny. You should let me look him up. Hold on. Okay, you guys, I found him. I don't know how to pronounce everything though. Okay, so don't judge me, please. But it's on Instagram. His handle is Nathan W. Pyle, or I don't know if the W is part of his last name, so it's Whippyle, WPYLE. And so where he does his art is, which I'm so, the universe will provide for real. I went on my Instagram and he was on the feed, so thankfully I didn't have to look hard. But it's a Nathan W. Pyle Strange Planet. You should check out his stuff. It's pretty funny, and like he does little comics of like aliens having a human experience and calling things like as they actually are. And every once in a while he'll do like a video, which I used to feel that way too, you know, like I used to perceive the world that way too. So it was cool to see somebody else who does this, where like there are pigeons that walk and he'll give them like little dialogue boxes and like conversations between them. And I used to do that too. Like I do that as well sometimes. So when I first found that he did something similar, I was like, oh my gosh, I've never met somebody else who does this, you know? So I feel like it's kind of like that for you guys. Like you have this creative mind and way that you perceive things, and imagination as well, and this rich inner world. And I think it may have been hard for you guys to find somebody to match it, or to meet you on that kind of same level, even if it's a little different, but still on the same level that'll play along with you, you know? So if this sounds like you, if this sounds accurate or true to you, then continue watching, as this is your group. Also, I'd like to just add, I think you guys are incredibly intuitive, and your creativity connects you with your intuition. It's like guided divinely. Okay, your strengths. So you guys are like a money magnet. I mean, I don't know how else to say it. I feel like one of your greatest strengths is your ability to make money. Like you can make money. Like you can figure out a way to get money, to make money. Like I mean, this could also just symbolize abundance, but when I saw this, I kind of thought money and abundance, but money. And then I saw this 9 of Pentacles and this Ace of Pentacles, and you'll see there's another Ace of Pentacles somewhere else, and I was like, okay, you've got shmoney, or at least the ability to do so. I feel like one of your greatest strengths is that you have this unique way of creating like abundance for yourself, or at least like you, if you are ever in a place where you feel like you're lacking, or you need money, or you need to save up more money, like you can find ways to get that money, to get that abundance. I also get that one of your greatest strengths, remember how I mentioned the intuition here, and your intuition being your creativity and all of that, or being tied to each other. With this card, I'm getting like you guys are really unique and creative, and a lot of the times the world doesn't necessarily kind of understand you, so maybe you kind of sheltered that creativity or hid it away from the world. Or like your incredibly imaginative mind and perceiving the world, you kind of hid it away from the world and you funnel it through creative endeavors. And I get like you guys could also kind of like channel, if you like do art, for example, you could not realize you're just expressing your creativity, but you could not realize that you're channeling some kind of light code messages or healing or some kind of something that is associated with divine guidance through your art, through your creativity. Just because your creativity is divinely guided, it's connected to your guidance. Yeah, and I also get that another one of your strengths is like being able to create a solid foundation. Like you can create this foundation that is unbreakable regardless of the outcome. And I'm getting for some of you also like your self-defense. You're able to protect yourself from the world without completely blocking or locking up or getting rid of the thing that makes you different or creative or unique. So that if they said something against it, it wouldn't bother you. But I don't know, it's like you guys found this way to kind of manage that uniqueness and not being able to openly express it with everyone. You found a way to manage it. And to isolate it without suppressing it. And I guess that is one of your strengths too, to be able to kind of, I don't even know if that makes sense, but like isolate it without like strangling it or completely cutting it off from yourself. Like you can access it still. Only you have this key to access it. And it's interesting, you guys chose the thinker oil, right? Again, I'm so sorry, you guys, about the background noise. I really hope that it's not picking up as super loud. I really, really do. If it is, I'm sorry, guys. But yeah, that's another thing, actually. I think with that thinker card, right, it makes perfect sense with your creative mind and your imagination. Like your mind is kind of like a superpower in a way, right? I think like you could easily like look at other things as well, but then also at the same time kind of remain focused too. Like you don't fully get distracted. Like if you turn away, you turn back and you're focused on the task at hand, you know, like you didn't get distracted or sucked in by turning away and looking at something else because it called your attention for a second. If that makes sense. Wow, you know, I also feel like in some of you guys, you can have like an extremely rational mind. And I feel like I worry about messing up with what I'm saying because you're so intelligent. I don't know why, but I kind of feel like, I don't want to mess up what I say because I don't want them to like judge me, you know? So I'm getting either two kinds of people here, right? Like the group is kind of split a little bit into, there's either those people who have that extreme intellect and rationale and that kind of know that. And then there's the people who may have those doubts and insecurities about their intelligence or intellect as well. But for those of you that don't doubt your intellect or kind of like, you know, have insecurities about that, I kind of feel like, oh my gosh, there's this pressure to kind of come correct intellectually to talk to you guys. Yeah. Ooh. Remember how I said you guys are like troublemakers. Like, I think you guys kind of intimidate people without realizing it, because I feel like even though you learn how to lock up that creativity, you kind of also know how to embrace it. Like, there's just something that's so unique about you. I don't know if you have to put on a facade for work or something, but there's something so unique about you, and it seems like not everyone will be able to understand it, but there's something kind of out of this world-esque about it. Yeah. And again, one of your strengths, I think, is like your solid, like, fortitude within yourself. Yeah, it's one of your strengths is like your solid fortitude within yourself. It's like you have a strong foundation. Like, people can't just shake. Maybe they could in the past, but at least now how I'm seeing it is people can't just shake you interfering. Like, I'm just thinking of the right way to phrase this for you guys, but like, people can't like shake your foundation, you know. It's like, you know who you are. You're like, I know who I am, and whatever it is that you project onto me or that you like say to me, I know it's not true. Like, there's a certain confidence, like a set groundedness. I keep wanting to say foundation, but like, yeah, it's kind of like a confidence in who you are, and I guess even like what you can bring to the table. I feel like you guys are people that, like, it's weird. It's like you may sometimes struggle with your worth, but you also know your worth and kind of like what you bring to the table. And I feel like as a kid, maybe you had this incredible creativity, and then like adulthood kind of was like, we're going to have to find a way to maintain it or subdue it. But it's not like completely silencing it. But again, I see it's kind of like it's masked a little, and it's funneled through whatever it is that you do to express it, your uniqueness. And I think that's one of the things that brings you success, right? That abundance, that financial abundance too, is like you have this way of perceiving the world. It's so unique. You're creative in the way that you do things, and because of that, sorry, does this look like purple to you guys? Is that the light? Is that what it's doing? That's so weird. Oh, that's so weird. It looks like so cool, at least from my angle. I don't know how the camera is actually picking it up. But yeah, so even like kind of how it's being picked up here, right? With the stars being funneled through, that creativity being funneled through. So even though it's kind of like maybe some of you put on this like mature mask, or you kind of had to grow up or be mature or something. I'm not saying you were immature before, but like you kind of like, remember how I said the facade thing? Maybe it's kind of like that, but like that part of you that's still you, like that intellect, that creative way of doing it, it's like you funnel it through. You never like let it die down. It didn't die down. It never left you. It's kind of part of you, and you funnel it through, right? Like this is like a funnel in the things that you do. It's funny because I also just got like an image of like this person in a corporate world, and they have to be like mature and stuff, and kind of like somebody like a lawyer, right? And like a suit and whatever. They have to be a certain way, you know. And then boss is like, come on, man, you gotta put on a certain front for the client or in this professional setting. And this person is like, yeah, I'm putting up a front. And they put up the front, but they still find a way to get their way anyway. You know, like they still funnel through their creativity and imagination in a kind of sneaky way. So I get, like, I think that's another reason I said you guys are kind of like trouble too, right? you're too like clever for your own good, I feel like, in some ways. And I think it's kind of like a seductive quality about you. And you guys it feels like some of you guys kind of do get your way. Like you end up some way or another getting your way. Okay. Maybe we'll come back to the strengths. That's kind of what's coming through here. And it's because you know how to maneuver the situation to kind of get your way. And it's not saying that you guys are manipulators, though I think in a negative light, it could come across as manipulation, or like if you were using the negative aspects of your strengths, like through a negative way, because it's like energy is just energy. It's how we choose to use it, whether it's for the light or dark. It's not that energy is bad or good. So I think it's like that. Excuse me. Sorry about that, guys. So I feel like it's like that, so it's not like it's manipulation, though if you had used it for dark stuff, it would be kind of like manipulation. But I think you just kind of know how to maneuver a situation to get your way of doing it, because you know that your way is going to be the right way and the way that works best when you do it, right? It's like your kind of way. But somebody else who doesn't understand like the way that your mind works, because you have such a intellectual, like rich inner mind and world, they may not perceive everything exactly like you, so they don't see how it'll work. So you're like, okay, I'll do it how you want, but I'll sprinkle in my way because I know that my way is the way that it's meant to be. Kind of like that. Okay. Now let's get into how people perceive you. People perceive you abundantly, okay? I think you guys are quite attractive. Most likely you are attractive. I think some people kind of see you. I'm sorry to say this, okay? If it doesn't resonate with you, please don't take it. I don't mean any offense with it. This is just how I see it. Okay, some people may kind of look at you like a money bag. I don't know what it is that you guys do for a living. I don't know who is watching this video, okay? But it seems like people kind of perceive you. I don't know if you guys are an artist, like if you're in a creative field, or if you're doing some kind of social media thing or something, or if you're kind of known, but people like, I don't know what the female version of this would be, but you know how they're like, oh, what a dreamy hunk, right? It's kind of like that, like a dreamboat. Like people have this perception of you. And again, this isn't first impressions, by the way, you guys. This is just how people perceive you in general. I'll do a first impressions video at some point. But yeah, people can see that you're good at making money as well. And I think people kind of look at you as a money bag. So I feel like maybe, I don't know if this happened to you or not. If it did, I mean, if you'd like to share, you can let me know. Maybe there have been people who just kind of were attracted to you because of your good looks and because of your financial abundance. Because people kind of see you as like this prosperous dream come true. Like it almost seems like also kind of like sexy and suave and like something that is slightly unattainable or unreachable, kind of in a way. Like even if they were like the select few people that maybe you may have been in a relationship with in the past, could have felt like they didn't get to see all sides of you. I think that people literally think that you have the Midas touch. They probably are like, how on earth does this person get so much abundance? I think they feel like I don't know if it's kind of like lucky or like some kind of gambling vibe, but it seems almost like, you see how here they've got this like golden halo of divine guidance, right? They're like listening to guidance, and then their shoes are like that same golden yellow, right? And it's kind of like the shoes are waiting because you can free yourself if you just lift yourself up, you know, like this person, look at them. They don't look trapped. They don't look worried that they're trapped. So it's kind of like just waiting for that guidance. And that, like, when you get that hunch of where to go, you go, you know? And I think people think that you kind of get that kind of hunch for money. Like, I don't know if maybe you guys do investments, like in the stock market or something, but I'm getting lots of big money vibes from you guys. And I think that, my gosh, I'm sorry, there's like some youths that live in the area that also have very fancy and loud cars. Oh, maybe you guys have a very fancy and loud car. Maybe that's just an extra emphasis on the fact that you guys kind of have like this kind of, you know, shmoney. You didn't see that, but I went shmoney. But yeah, I feel like that's how people perceive you. Like, people just see you as like somebody who's got their life together, who's sitting pretty on top, who's like super sexy and like abundant financially, and like, you know where the money is. Like, you know, maybe you're a financial advisor, or people want you to be their financial advisor. Maybe they're like following you to be like, which stock market thing are they which stock are they investing in today? Because people feel like you've got the golden touch, like you kind of know how money works. And it's true, because this was one of your strengths, right? Was this abundance. You kind of know how money works. You have this way of being able to perceive the world and outcomes, and you kind of know. So yeah, I know that may not be, I don't know if that's exactly what you guys would want to have heard or not. But yeah, it's kind of seeming like people I think see kind of a little bit your intuition there too. I kind of think that people see like almost like you're getting a little bit of a hint or guidance from divine in regards to how to get that abundance and money. Maybe you help people make money, or maybe you could help people create money or abundance in their life. And I feel like people feel like you get that guidance from divine. And remember how I said your creativity is kind of like, it is divine guidance. But yeah, I think people definitely associate you with money. And yeah. And okay, so this is the card that's mainly talking about the attractiveness and also the money, right? And I think that's why some people may have, I don't know if you guys ever felt used before in relationships, or like people try to become your friends because they want something from you. But I guess that also could be like why you guys are good with having your own individual personality, and like you can have like this fortress kind of, and that's one of your strengths, so that those people don't get to you. But let's get into your divine, how divine sees you. Okay, you guys, you've got the Knight of Wands. You have the Knight of Swords, which is so funny because in the Rider-Waite deck, which is this one, the Knight of Swords was peeking out, but I kind of kept shuffling, and then I was thinking about that, and then this Knight of Swords came out, and I was like, okay, so the Knight of Swords really wanted to come out. Then you've got, again, you know what, it's kind of making me think of that like financial advisor, or like you guide people on how to make money because you're good at it. I don't know if that's something you guys were thinking of doing, or you do. Then you've got Six of Pentacles. Yes. Oh my gosh, that makes so much sense. Okay, let me lay them out first. The Ace of Pentacles. Again, this was a double because you had it here. The Fool. And the Ace of Wands. And you guys, when this card came out, when I saw this card, I felt so much heat all over my body. You guys are so magnetic. And I think it also is like indicating that you guys are like really hot. And I don't mean like temperature wise, though that could be the case for some of you, but I feel like you guys are very, 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 very physically attractive. And like with the Knight of Wands too, it's just making me think like a lot of people are attracted to you. I feel like they feel you could be like the perfect type, which again makes me wonder what it is that you guys do for a living, because I feel like some people kind of don't 100% know who you are. And I'm not saying that if they knew who you are, they wouldn't be attracted to you. Not what I mean at all. I just feel like they kind of have this kind of fantasy about you. But this is how divine perceives you, right? So divine sees you as, well, attractive. I mean, even God is like, you fine. Sorry, guys. I felt something on my foot. I was like, what is that? Okay. But yeah, even God can't deny. They're like, yep, you're a sexy being. That is so funny to me. Sorry. And I think, again, with that Knight of Swords, it's like divine sees you as somebody who is like a teacher, meant to kind of teach the world in a way. And like the Knight of Wands also adds to that like passion aspect of it. And the Six of Pentacles, it's like, this is what you help teach people with. And you have the Ace of Pentacles too, right? It's like you share the wealth. You help people learn how to create success and abundance and prosperity in their life. And this 0 with the Fool, it's like indicating that you are divinely guided. Look at all of the animal guides there, all the spirit guides. You are divinely guided. It's just extra emphasis. And look, this person is also holding a rose, right here. It's kind of like divine is like, yep, we're with you and you've got the tools that you need. But look how confident they look too, because normally the Fool is like somebody just leaping, right? With a blind, like not looking where they're leaping, but they're leaping and they're having faith and trusting. But I'm getting with you guys, it's like a confident leap too. It's not just like trust. It's like, you're like, I know I'm good at this, or I know I've got this. I know I'm blessed, or divine is with me, or like, I know that I'm good at this. Like, there's just no doubt, there's this confidence about you. And divine sees you as that. Like, they know that in a way. And they see you as somebody who is guided by them. Who's just, even without realizing it. Maybe some of you wanted to be like, it's not God, it's me, But they're like, and again, that's just some of you. But they're like, you are one with God. So, and again, you can say God, universe, divine, whatever works for you, source. It's kind of like you are one with that energy, because you see they're all the same. They're all silhouettes. So don't be thinking that you're the shit and it's all just you, because it is you, but it's also a greater power, right? Because that's what connects us all. And I think like you guys are probably kind of confident too, because you know that you're attractive, that you're good looking, that you get a lot of like people who want to like get the bag. I think that's the expression. I'm not good with slang, you guys. I even bought flashcards. It's kind of bad. I mean, the flashcards are for readings, but I bought flashcards. But yeah, you guys are really good at abundance, and I feel like that's just what divine is saying. They're just like, you're so good at abundance. Like, and that's one of your gifts. That's one of the things you're meant to help people get to in this life. And they see you as like this, like a knight coming in to rescue people, And I think I know this is how divine sees you, but I also feel like a lot of people, okay, sorry guys, it's just one of the really loud sports cars was there. So maybe you're a modern knight. Maybe you don't rush in on horses. Maybe you rush in on Ferraris, or I don't know, what's another fancy schmancy car? Is Ferrari considered a fancy schmancy car? I don't know. So I think so, right? I think so. I don't know anything about cars, you guys. Okay. But yeah. So that's interesting. So people do come to you. I think people do come to you for guidance, or at least they want your guidance. Because they look at you as like are you guys like a lifestyle coach, or like a money making coach, or like a business coach? You help people start up their businesses. And I'm not kidding you. Every time I look at this card, I just feel immense heat. Come on. Like, you guys are very fine, you know, very attractive. And I think this is part of like divine's gift to you. I think you're so magnetic, and that kind of helps draw that money into you. But I think maybe you guys also help people with confidence too. Maybe you tell people like confidence is the key. Act like you have $1 million and you'll have $1 million. I don't know. But I think that is part of, I know this is how divine perceives you, but I think that's part of the gifts too as well. Like the attractiveness to kind of help draw people into your mission and purpose, which is to help them create abundance, prosperity, and success in their life. And I see that you really do help people. You can really help people. Sorry again for the cut, you guys. You guys are just getting a lot of noise for your pile. The last pile had a lot of noise too. But yeah, I think that you... Sorry. It just sounds like, I don't know. I'm sure it's probably a lawnmower, but it sounds like the world is farting. I don't know. Or like a leaf cutter or a grass cutter, whatever they're called. It just sounds like a fart. Or maybe it's drilling. I don't know. You see, maybe that's kind of like with that unique way of perceiving the world. You guys are funny. You guys are kind of funny. But yeah, so I see like you have this, and also, you know, with this Ace of Pentacles, like this adaptability. Well, you guys are getting a really long reading. I'm sorry that it's going on. This was kind of meant to be a bit of a quicker video. But yeah, I'm seeing like with this chameleon here, it's kind of like you, again, with that adaptability of being able to, is that a chameleon? Yeah. To, if this strategy doesn't work, this one does. You know, you have this creative way of seeing what works, and I think you can help people see what works with them as well. Like maybe some of you guys are career counselors too. I don't know. I would love to know what you guys do for a living, or what it is that maybe you aim to do if you're willing to share, because it seems like you guys are really, well, with that abundance. It's pretty cool. And with this Knight of Swords and that teaching aspect that I was saying, I'm kind of getting, again, you see like that divine guidance up there too. But yeah, let's just get your dice as well before we end the reading. Okay, interesting. Wow, every group has gotten... This is so weird. The dice have been repeating very similar messages throughout all the groups. So we've got Virgo, which I think came out in every group so far. The North Node, which came out in like group 2, I think. 4, which came out in the last 2 groups. So group 2 and 4. Sorry, 2 and 3. And 3. Oh. Which I don't know if you can see because of the light, and I know the rose quartz is kind of light. So I'm not even sure what number I'm showing you right now, but just know it's a 3, okay? It's a 3, guys. Yeah, so I'm getting that part of your mission, kind of like your purpose too, is helping people get their home life in order. And what I mean by that is like you help people like create, how can I phrase it? You help people create a happy home life by helping them with their career. With their career success, or like the way that they approach their business. Like, I guess maybe that's why I thought you were business counselors, like the way their work ethic or how they think in regards to creating or manifesting or perceiving or making more money. And it helps to, it helps like better their home life as well, you know. because this is like creating that impact. So it's like you don't just help them make money, you help them kind of with a more rounded lifestyle. The emphasis is not just on the money. It kind of goes into the other aspects of their life in a way, in some ways. Or maybe it's leading to getting into that. But I'm also getting with this 4, like the Emperor. And it's interesting because this 3, which was the rose quartz, which is considered like a divine feminine energy in general, right? Just as a stone, fell far from the other stones. So I'm getting that you guys may be more in your masculine, divine masculine energy, and you're kind of bringing in, this kind of seems like another person, like a divine feminine energy. Regardless, I'm getting like you're kind of bringing in, because you guys have this manifestation ability, right? This because I'm thinking of this as the Emperor and the Empress. So I feel like you guys are bringing in your Empress, or if, regardless of genders, you're bringing in your divine counterpart, like somebody who's going to be an equal match for you in all that you do. So look at that. I guess there's a little message of love too. And I don't know if this is somebody that you're going to be collaborating with or helping. Okay, guys, sorry for the cut. Oh my gosh. I waited it out for the cars to stop, but they're still going, whoever it is. I don't know, maybe you guys have very busy lives, because the amount of noise that you guys are getting for your reading is like incredible. But what I was saying is I think you guys are bringing in a divine counterpart, or like a divine counterpart is just coming into your life. I don't know if they're going to be a client or somebody who's going to work with you, or that you're going to help. But I'm getting that this person is like a kind of like a guided divine match. They just match you. So it's interesting how in the beginning I was mentioning that with like it's maybe hard for you guys to find people who think similarly or have this creative mind like you. So I'm getting that like this person is going to be like that equal. So it's going to finally be somebody who you don't have to use the funnel to kind of get your mind. Like they just kind of get your mind. Like there's some kind of click. Like it's a counterpart, And this was on Virgo, right? But I accidentally flipped it and it fell on Pisces. So I'm getting that whoever this counterpart person is, it is like a past life energy. Like you guys are soulmates in a way. And we have multiple soulmates, friends can be soulmates, family can be soulmates. And then of course, romantic partners, and even people that we don't really like or spar with. They could be soulmates too, but I'm getting that this is a good close soulmate, like a somebody like in other lives. You guys your souls are good, like you're close friends soul wise. So that's really nice. So you're gonna really feel like this person kind of understands you, like they kind of get you. Maybe even without effort, they get you. Yeah. That was your reading, you guys. That was an interesting last minute message there at the end. But I don't know. I think that's cute. Like the Emperor and the Empress coming together. I would love to hear from you guys. I would love to know what it is that you guys do for a living, if you don't mind sharing. If this resonated with you. And yeah, that would be great. And yeah. That's about all I had to say to you guys. I do offer private readings as well. If you wanted to reach out, there's contact information in the description box. But other than that, I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Wishing you lots of love and light and success on your journey. And good luck with this kind of cosmic karmic partner. And I don't think it's karmic like in a bad way, by the way. When I said karmic, I think it's like karmic in the sense that your souls kind of wanted to come together in this incarnation. And I think you guys could be like star seeds or star family together. Like your souls kind of come from the same place where you were in the same place, or it's kind of like the union is guided by the stars, like your star being family. Okay, I'm gonna stop with that. This wasn't a love reading, so but yeah, that was just a little message for you guys. I hope you enjoyed. Have a good one, you guys. Lots of love and light to you. Bye, group 4. Hi, group 5. Welcome to your reading. This is your group if you chose the Citrus Bliss or the, again, won't know if I'm pronouncing it right or not, but the Halitrefus Masi. I just want to say, I think you guys are a very quirky bunch off the bat. I think you guys are kind of quirky and unique, and like a lot of people may not completely get you, but you're quirky, okay? And before we go any further with this, I'm going to pull the rest of your cards, and then we'll go into the reading. Okay, guys? Okay, group number 5. Here are your cards. I'm just going to show them to you before we get into, the reading. So, I don't know the names of these cards in particular, the individual cards, because I don't really look into the book too much. So, I'm just going to give you the number and what I see. So, we've got 19, and it's kind of like this fortress tower structure. The number 2 with this like fool like being from tarot riding a unicycle. I don't really know. It makes me think of the Fool card though. Then you have this glove or gauntlet with number 5. Number 8 with a crane, I think. I think it's a crane and a new beginning. That is a very interesting looking bird. Okay. Then we've also got the Ace of Swords, the 8 of Wands. Oh, actually, that's so funny. I just mentioned the Fool. I wasn't even paying attention. The Fool, and this one was the one reminding me of the Fool. Strength. The Hierophant. The 7 of Cups. The Queen of Pentacles. And then we've also got, sorry, I'm just rearranging these. We've also got quite a few of these cards as well. And this is how spirit or how divine sees you. Okay, so we'll reveal these afterwards. Okay, guys, so I'm getting that you guys are kind of quirky. You're very unique. And I feel like you kind of can sometimes cater to a specific audience, I would say. I think the people that get to know you, I know we haven't gotten to this part, but just in general, would find that you have a very fascinating mind. I'm also getting that you guys are really deep thinkers. Like, I don't know, I'm getting kind of like you're balanced, you know, you're a balance between a really deep thinker and then somebody who also is just fancy free, living it fancy free and fun loving, you know. It's so interesting. You have this complex personality and way of being. So I think that's very fascinating. I also think that sometimes maybe you guys have a hard time making a decision, and so you sort of leave it up to fate. Like, I can see you going eeny, meeny, miny, mo, to figure out what to do, because there are just a bunch of options. But I'm also, it's so weird. Again, I'm like getting this weird dual message, but then sometimes I get that it's like, exactly what to do. So it's kind of contradictory. I feel like you guys are a bit of an enigma, you could say. I also get that, yeah, I think that sometimes people are a little confused by you, or they feel like there's always more. So I know we haven't gotten into this part of the reading, which is going to be how people perceive you, but I feel like I feel like you kind of dazzle people in a way, because they can't quite figure you out. It's like you always add something new to the table, and I'm getting like you're really quirky and eccentric. And whatever quirky means to you is, part of your personality. Maybe certain interests that you have are kind of quirky, or not considered the norm. But, you stay true to yourself. And I think you honor all those different facets of you, which is quite honorable. And you, like, if you're feeling one way, you are that way. You act that way and you honor that. And then if you're feeling, like, say, for example, if you're feeling grungy, right, then you'll be super grunge. If you're feeling super, like hippie, then you will be a hippie, being, you have these different facets. And I think people sometimes kind of have a hard time figuring you guys out. Okay, so if that kind of sounds like you, then I believe this is your reading. I know that one wasn't so detailed, but I feel like this one was a little bit more complex, and there was a lot of indecisiveness about taking your cards. So I'm getting that was possibly picking up on that kind of energy that you guys have around you. Now let's get into your strengths, your greatest strengths. So I would say that one of your greatest strengths is having that dynamic personality, being able to be that free, wild child, but then also this other analytical aspect of yourself. And like, your quirkiness is your gift too. Like, one of your greatest strengths is your individuality. I'm also getting, like you stay true to yourself, even if something is weird or whatever. I feel like you've gone through enough at this point in life that you're just like, I'm just going to do me, and whoever me is good enough. Like, they're just going to have to deal with it. They're going to handle it kind of personality, like almost like I don't give enough, or I don't give a flying shish kebab, whatever. I'm also getting that you guys are really good at rising to the occasion. Sorry guys, I feel like there's another message trying to come through with this gauntlet, but I just need a moment. Yeah, I think you guys are good at rising to the occasion, but I'm also getting that one of your strengths is confrontation. I know it's kind of weird, but I feel like it's like being able this confrontation, like, ability that you can call upon. It like helps you with helping other people. It helps you defend other people. Like, that confrontation actually like helps you to stand up for people, to stand up for, like, the little guy, you could say. Yeah, because I'm kind of getting like I'm this, so what kind of energy going on here. And some people could perceive it as being super confrontational, but I don't see that you guys are like confrontational, like you go around picking fights. It's more like that I'm not going to compromise who I am, and I'm going to be firm in what I believe is right and true. And so it's like you guys have this extra oomph or strength to display that. So if somebody else, like if you see somebody else being bullied or something like that for being, the things that you freely allow yourself to be now, like unique or something like that, then like you stand up for them. You have this gift of like, hey, like, get off this person's back. I don't even know. I can't think of a good example, but I hope you guys get what I'm saying. Yeah, I'm also getting that you guys you have this I just feel like it's extra emphasis on staying true to your creativity and imagination, or your personality, staying true to yourself and not compromising yourself anymore. Because I feel like maybe some of you did in the past, some of you. But I'm getting it's kind of like you guys aren't compromising yourself anymore. You go to the rhythm of your own beat. Like, people can't identify you. And in a way, that is a good thing. Like, you're a mystery. Some of you guys could even be kind of like androgynous, or like there could be something that is considered like abnormal or unusual about you guys. And that is a strength as well. I feel like you as a person help make people question the norm and their reality in a good way. You help broaden people's horizons. So your quirkiness and your individuality and your defending and being true to your individuality is one of your greatest strengths. And I feel like in some ways you can also kind of like command respect because of it too, because people are just like, wow, this person is showing up as completely themselves. This is the only way I can accept them or take them, right? You're not really giving people too much of an option with that. And again, not in a bad way. Okay. And let's move on to how people perceive you. So, just give me a moment, guys. You guys got quite a bit of cards for this section. I feel like people just see you as somebody who goes with the flow, who is constantly kind of taking a leap of faith, who's a bit of a risk taker, someone who has very clear and direct communication. Like, if you like something, you're going to talk about it. If you don't like something, you're going to talk about it too. You're going to share. Like, people aren't going to question how you feel about certain topics. You guys, like, people feel when the way people perceive you is like, you're just going to tell them straight out, yes or no, if you like something. So they don't consider you wishy-washy, which is interesting because remember how I said you guys have that weird like decisive and indecisive energy? Like, it's a constant kind of like juggle or cross between the two. It's funny that the way people perceive you is like they see this assertive aspect of you, right? This part that is like willing and ready to defend their point of view, their personality, or other people who may feel like, not seen or not heard or misunderstood. And I'm getting like extreme Aquarius vibes from you guys. But yeah, I think that people, like the way that you speak too, like people find that, I think people just perceive you as somebody who's super assertive. They're like, this person is so unique and individual to themselves. And yeah, I'm getting that you guys get kind of like quite a bit of admiration for being true to you. I feel like a lot of people have a hard time honoring their true authentic selves, with past hurts and traumas. And so coming back to your truest, most authentic form self, and having your beliefs and likes and dislikes without waver, it can be hard for quite a few people. And surprisingly enough, I'm not seeing, right, so much jealousy, because usually you'll see people sometimes like be jealous of something that they deny themselves. So for example, if they deny themselves of going traveling, right, and say the majority of people did that, whenever they meet a traveler, I'm not saying they're always going to be jealous of them, but like there tends to be, and again, it's not all people, by the way, it's just certain people are like this, but they'll be kind of jealous, right, of the traveler, because it's something that they've always wanted to do, but they continue to deny themselves this opportunity or way of being. And it's not that they can't do it, by the way. It's just that they have told themselves, I can't be this way, or I can't do this. And so, travel is not a good example. I think it's more like for personality traits. Like, for example, okay, say somebody has a really quirky laugh, right? Laughs like a maniac. And then there's this other person who hears them laugh and starts, and by the way, the laugh is infectious, it's great, like it's perfect, it's just uniquely them. But then this other person, right, person B, hears person A laughing, and they start judging them like, what a weird laugh. Why do they laugh like that? And it's because person B also had a very quirky laugh when they were younger, but their parents were like, hey, stop laughing like a donkey or whatever, And so now they have that judgment around laughter. And so because they suppress a bit of their laughter and a bit of their personality and quirkiness, because that's how they were taught, when somebody else is living their full expression, they're like, what's wrong with them, I feel like maybe partially it's like a self-defense system, but surprisingly you guys I'm not getting too much energy of that kind of jealousy. What I'm getting is more admiration. Like people just see you. Though, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that there aren't people who are jealous of you. There are definitely people who are jealous of your freedom, or the perceived freedom that you have, because so many people wish that they could be assertive. But that's not like the biggest vibe that I'm picking up here, but I do believe that, there are definitely going to be a few people that feel that way. Just because you live, the way they perceive that you live is so uninhibited. Like people they just kind of see you doing your own thing, and they really admire that. And I feel like people kind of come to you for advice. Maybe sometimes you can be very preachy about certain causes, and like people listen, and they feel like other people listen to you too. Yeah, and I'm getting like you really do kind of sometimes confuse people, because you just have this dual personality. Maybe you guys have Libra energy too. I guess I'm getting kind of air sign energy, which is Libra, Gemini, and Aquarius. But you have this duality to you, right? So it kind of confuses people. They're like, I don't understand group number 5. But you're definitely very opinionated, I will say. And I think people think that too. And again, I'm not saying it in a bad way. I just think that people really believe that you know what it is that you want, and what you like and what you don't like, and they really believe that you're going to make it known, So if, for example, you ever had a moment where you were shy or you didn't feel comfortable and you didn't say anything, like people wouldn't assume that you're uncomfortable, because they just see you as this type of person that would say, I'm uncomfortable if you're uncomfortable, So whether or not it's 100% true for you guys, so I'm just going to take a sip of my tea. Whether or not it's completely true for you guys, this is just how people perceive you. And remember, this isn't exactly a first impressions reading. This is like when people get to know you a little bit. Yeah. And I'm also getting that people see you as Yeah, I think people kind of see you as a nurturing presence too. Like, in a way, almost like you defend your people, you defend the weirdos. I'm not saying you guys are weirdos. This is just kind of how it's like revealing itself to me. So I'm saying how it's revealing itself. Like, you guys take care of the underdogs in a way, right? Like, you can be kind of a nurturing. Like, I feel like in a way, like you guide them, like guidance. Yeah, that makes sense with the Hierophant too. Like, you guide these people who are like just starting in their, to allow themselves to come out, but maybe a little insecure or having kind of like self-doubts. And you guys are like, no, embrace yourself, embrace your funkiness, embrace your fun self. Yeah, it's like you guys are like, embrace your fun. And I think that people see that too. It's like people see you as this really, so basically to sum it up, right? This like really direct person who knows what they like and knows what they don't like. Because I want to say opinionated again, but opinionated doesn't seem like the right word because it has a slightly negative connotation, I would say. But it's like you're sure of your, I don't know how to, I guess I'll say opinionated just for lack of a better word, but without that negative connotation, They also see you as somebody who's uninhibited, who just gets to be an authentic, true expression and version of themselves. Like, you do not take BS, yeah, right? Like, you're just like, this is me. And then you also help people feel comfortable and kind of express their individuality and creativity too. And I feel like you guys have a soft spot, and people feel this way. Like, you kind of have a soft spot for people who are kind of venturing or dabbling or taking the first kind of baby steps in the same direction of how you express, like, your way of being and how you express yourself. And they kind of take that direction too, like being authentic and true to them. They start dabbling, and you guys kind of come in like a mother hen, like, hey, yes, like you kind of help validate them. Yeah, and I'm even kind of seeing like you guys could probably have like different what's it called, like different fashion styles too. Like, sometimes you, like I mentioned it earlier, sometimes you may want to dress like a rock star. Sometimes you may want to dress super grungy, right? And like teenage angst. Sometimes you may want to dress like a fairy pixie. And other times you may want to dress like a mermaid, or all the colors, right? Yeah. I'm getting kind of like that kind of vibe. Or like a hippie, like, or a hipster, just different. Or maybe even you guys like themed things, like themed parties. Like old things too, like 1700s style kind of things. Yeah, it's kind of what I'm getting from you guys in regards to how people perceive you. And now let's take a look at how Divine sees you. So you've got the Page of Wands, the High Priestess, the Eight of Swords, the Queen of Cups, the Hanged Man, and the Eight of Cups. Okay. So I'm definitely getting like Divine sees you as somebody who is a guiding light for those kinds of people that are trying to come into their true authentic selves. Divine sees you as a guiding light. And it's kind of like how I said, like when people are taking their first baby steps and you guys kind of come in like a mother hen, and you kind of walk them through the whole thing. And I wouldn't say the whole thing, but you kind of like walk them through like a good portion of the beginning to maybe like there's some kind of guidance to the middle or something. like it's funny because I actually got this image too for one of the other groups, but kind of like how maybe for group 1 I think it was, or group 2, I don't remember, but how like for example, right, in Greek mythology there was this I think his name was Charon, and he was the ferry boat person. I was gonna say driver, but that's not, he wasn't a driver, he was in a boat on the river Styx, and he would carry people into the afterlife, right, into Hades. So it's kind of like that, like when people are, but I see like not when people are ending their cycle, but when people are kind of just beginning their new cycle, right, this new phase. It's like you come in and you kind of help guide them. You know, it's kind of how they say, if you take one step, the universe takes 10. So it's almost like you are the universe sending like 5 of those 10 steps. You know, so like when that person takes their first step, you're there like, let me help you with the next 4 to 5. Yeah, and I'm getting that you guys are kind of really attuned to spirit and to intuition and your divine guidance, but you guys have a very quirky way of being about it too. Like I can't even pick up the kind of specifics from this high priestess just because you guys are so like, I don't, it's like malleable but rigid too, you know. And rigid in the sense that like you guys are just so firm in your individuality and authenticity that it just kind of like, I feel almost slightly overtakes a lot of the other things. It makes me like a little, yeah, sorry, I know I didn't finish that, but it'll come to me again, I think. But even this high priestess card is kind of giving me air sign vibes. Like I'm getting kind of like Aquarius. It's almost like this, like a goddess or god of individuality, you know, uniqueness, and also creativity. And I feel like this is just a confirmation that, you know, divine sees you as this unique being as well. And that's like part of your purpose and mission too, is to be in your individuality and uniqueness. I wouldn't be surprised if you guys have like some kind of heavy Aquarius placements or 11th house placements, or maybe something like some planets like Uranus in your first house, kind of. Or in your, yeah, those are just the ones that are coming. But if you don't have those placements, that doesn't mean this isn't for you. That's just a very specific thing that would apply to maybe like 1 or 2 of you guys. And with the 8 of Swords, I'm also getting that like they kind of have seen you as somebody who has struggled in the past of suppressing your true nature, suppressing your personality to kind of fit in. And again, it makes me think of like maybe when you were younger, like whether it's like the parents or family or culture or you know, school, like you had to hide your quirkiness. And then it's almost like this person, you see how they're kind of trapped beneath the swords, but then there's this bird, this like freedom that's kind of just hovering over them, you know? And like now you guys have that freedom. Now you have that freedom. You can be who you want to be. You've walked away from those things that don't serve you anymore, and Divine sees you as somebody who, like, it's almost like they're applauding you for being your authentic selves. And they also kind of see the potential of you completely being someone who doesn't care about how people perceive their quirks and their uniqueness, or, you know, something that makes them different. like I feel like this would be the group of for the people who maybe like people of the same gender or mixed genders, or like they're just like love is love, or could be into like metal, I guess. Like there's just some kind of like I can't think of anything else that's kind of like different, right? Like the biggest kind of quirks. And I feel like it was a source of anxiety in the past because you guys may have felt like really repressed. But now you kind of don't give a shish kebab, right? You just kind of do the flow, do the thing. And I'm seeing divine kind of also sees you as somebody with like a golden heart too. A golden heart. You have a very kind heart. And that's why part of your purpose and mission is helping to guide others in their uniqueness, creativity, and individuality. You had to go through it and find a way to move past it kind of like on your own. And so now, since you did it on your own, you have a way of understanding how other people are, like what phase and stage other people are and how they're going through it. So you're able to help guide them in that regard. Yeah, like I'm just kind of seeing like you guys could be into stuff that like maybe it's like occult stuff or stuff that can sometimes be perceived as like, I don't want to say dark, but kind of like underworld related kind of stuff. And it's not that it's not that you guys are coming across as dark. I don't think so. Not at all. Like I'm getting like also, kind of like emo goth style here as well. But remember, this is like a general reading, and the whole point is that there's some kind of quirk, right? You could also be dressing up like pixies and fairies and unicorns and mermaids all the time, But I'm also getting like, I kept getting this like grunge like energy. So I'm here it's also kind of like divine saying, even if you're into like the macabre things, right? Like skeletons, Halloween, kind of like some kind of dark things or deep discussions that kind of lead into controversial topics. Some of you guys may be conspiracy theorists too, but in a way they're saying your root, your source is still kind of with God in some way, shape, or form, which is an interesting message, I would say. Like you see how this person just kind of is below this branch, right? The branch is kind of like God, and they're on the lower side, and you've got bats flying around here. But they're still hanging at the ankle with this branch of God. So even though you kind of dabble in like that stuff that maybe some people would call dark or kind of dark looking, right? Assume it's kind of dark energy or heavy. Divine is kind of saying like you're still a divine child, and you've got this purpose. They're kind of like admiring you for leading the way for many people. And you're not afraid to like leave somebody behind if you have to. If somebody doesn't accept you, it's kind of like God is like saying, yeah, if somebody doesn't accept this person, they don't have any issues cutting them out of their life. Okay. So let's get some dice for you guys. Dice for group number 5. We've got number 19. Which I don't know if you guys can see it. Mars. Yeah, I was picking up on that first house energy. I wanted to say like you guys have some kind of like maybe North Node in Aries or something. And then Libra. Oh, didn't I say Libra energy because of that duality? And then 5th house. Yeah, and I said maybe Uranus is in 5th house too. And number 19. That is the sun. Oh, and you know what's so funny? You guys have the sun card on the bottom of the deck here. And this is the sun. And then you also have, like, the Emperor was peeking out from that deck, and the King of Pentacles on the bottom of the Rider-Waite deck, which I think is so interesting, because it's like you have these feminine archetypes that come out here, right? But I'm not saying that your energy is overly feminine, by the way. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that it's overly masculine either. It's just you have a couple of feminine cards, but it still doesn't feel like your energy is overly feminine. I would say it's kind of like equal in a way. But then on the bottom of the decks, you have these masculine cards, which I think is so interesting. Yeah, I think that's interesting. I wonder if like some of you guys are kind of attracting. That's funny because I think the last group or the group before that had a similar message, but like if you guys are kind of doubting whether eventually there's going to be somebody that's kind of like you or for you, I think this is just saying like, yeah, there is definitely going to be somebody that is like your match in individuality. Because it's not that you just like, that's the thing that makes it, I think, a little complicated. It's not like you guys are just into one thing. It's like you're also into the complete opposite of it too. And so I feel like you guys are going to get a match that kind of helps balance that, like who's into that kind of stuff too. You know, they're not just into, like, say, again, I'm going to use the grunge as example, like the grungy part, right? They're going to be into the grungy part and the fairy and pixie part too. So if somebody needed that message, if they felt like, is there somebody actually who is just as unique as me, or who has as many quirks, like who'd be able to fully kind of accept and love my personality as it is, exactly as it is. And it's like, yes. But I'm also hearing you guys almost like saying, but I don't care if there is, I don't need anyone. I don't rely on a partner. I don't need anyone. And sure, you don't need anyone, but that doesn't mean that we don't all want love. Let's be real. You know, it's okay to want love. That's part of, I think, human nature. It's because unconditional love, in my opinion at least, is what the universe or the multiverse is made of. That's the fabric that weaves us all kind of like together. So love, for me, is like a state of godliness. So I think it is in our nature to constantly want that kind of love. So there's nothing wrong with wanting love, okay? Or wanting a partner, that would fit you. You know, I don't see you compromising yourselves for anyone. So I think that's pretty great. And yeah, with this Mars energy, which is interesting because I just, oh my gosh, Mars rules Aries, right? And then you have Libra here and the sun and the fifth house. Fifth house is the house of like children and romance. And then you have the sun card there. Maybe you guys do have like a partner coming, because look, Libra and Aries are opposites. But I think this could also be talking about your dual kind of personality, right? Your multifaceted personality. But I think this is also kind of like a confirmation too. Like, just know you can have that kind of partner too. Yeah, I would just say it's kind of just confirmation of what I had literally just said. All right, group number 5. This was your reading. I hope you enjoyed it. I would love to hear from you guys in the comments, if it resonated, or what in particular resonated the most. I also offer private readings as well. If you wanted to reach out, the contact information is in the description down below. I hope you guys have a wonderful, incredible, beautiful, blessed day. I'm sending lots of love and light to you guys. I have just lots of love for you, okay? I love you. Group number 5, have a good one. Bye. Okay, group number 6. Hello, welcome to your reading. This is your group if you chose the Kali oil, which I don't know if you can see it kind of with the light flashing, or if you chose the horseshoe crab. and Pegasus. Okay, guys, before I get into your reading, I'm just going to shuffle out the rest of the cards and then we'll get started. Okay, guys, so these are your cards. These cards I don't know the names of, so I'm just going to give you the number and what I see. So we've got number 21 with the fruit bowl, or the bowl of cherries, actually. Number 27 with the pots of sugar, I think, and like toothbrushes. I'm not really sure. Paintbrushes. Number 11 with a book and a lantern. Number 23 with the fish. The Page of Cups. The Empress. The Nine of Cups. The Seven of Swords. The Three of Pentacles. And the Sun. You guys are kind of giving me a similar, slightly similar vibe to group 1. So if you felt drawn to group 1 and you were like, I really want to choose 2, but I'm not sure if I can choose 2, you can take this as kind of like your sign. And then we've also got a few cards as how divine perceives you, and we're going to look into these afterwards. Okay, you guys. The way that I am seeing you is you guys are like really good at creating abundance for yourself. Whatever abundance means to you, it doesn't always just mean monetary. I feel like you guys are really good at creating connections with people, creating friendships with people. But I feel, like you guys are really good at connecting with people. You guys have this like adaptable. A lot of you guys are really adaptable in this reading, but you guys have this like adaptable personality, right? And I feel like people look to you for guidance as well. I'm getting that you could also, I'm just getting like you have a vibrant personality. Whether or not that comes through in your clothes, that's on you. This is a general reading, but I'm seeing like somebody who could be interested in kind of expressing through their clothes, but I'm also seeing somebody who doesn't really care. Not that they, no. Okay, that's not the right word. Not that they don't care, but kind of like it's not always a priority. Take that as it resonates, because as I'm saying it doesn't necessarily kind of feel right, but yeah. I'm also seeing that you guys can get kind of excitable too, and you get excited about like kind of certain topics as well, like spirituality, or like diving deep in conversation about like deep topics, deep things, like things that get the mind going. It's like exciting for you guys. Like you guys are excellent communicationists. Is that the word? I'm not sure. But you guys are really good at it, whatever the word is. Yeah. I'm also getting, this is going to kind of start tying into your greatest strengths, but I'm getting like also right with the strengths here. It's like, I would say like you guys are kind of similar to group number 5 with some kind of quirkiness, but I'm also getting that you guys kind of have like a seductive quality to you, like this, some kind of charm, like you're kind of charming. There's like something classic about you in some kind of weird way. I don't know if it's because there's like a little aspect of you that goes into the traditional form of maybe like your gender or something like that in some expression. But there's like something kind of classic about you. And I would say people would say that you're very sweet. Some might even say you're like a delicacy. But I think that people think you're very sweet, you're very creative. Maybe some of you guys actually are painters. I'm also getting kind of like a bit of a Libra vibe from you guys too, and I think because of the cherries, to be honest. Yeah, so I would say like one of your greatest strengths is that kind of quiet, seductive nature, and it's just kind of part of you. I don't think you realize that you're doing it. You guys are artists is what I'm seeing, essentially. Like, you guys are artists, and you're not afraid to go against the grain. Yeah, that's why I'm getting like kind of similar messages to group number 5. But group number 5 was kind of different. They were a little bit more grunge. You guys are a little bit more colorful, or like a bit of a lighter kind of. I'm not really sure how to explain it. Also, I think one of your greatest strengths too is how you're able to create incredible memories with people. I think like people consider you fun, or I don't, maybe it's fun, maybe it's like a mix of fun and compassionate and passionate, but I feel like people kind of have this, like, you have this incredible way of creating great memories with people, with some kind of experiences or what. I'm not entirely sure how you facilitate it. This is just how it's coming through here. I also kind of think like you guys have a bit of a psychic insight as well, and you kind of have an understanding and almost like a kind of knowing of how your life is going to play out. You may not know all the exact details, but I kind of feel like you guys know how your life is going to play out, because look, it looks like they're at the end of the book. Like the book is just kind of finished. Like you've read, maybe some of you guys also do like Akashic record stuff too. That's kind of cool. It's kind of like almost as if you kind of read, like you're like, I've been around a few times, a few lifetimes. I've been around the block. I'm also getting one of your greatest strengths. Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing that's coming through here really is your creativity. Your artistry. And again, this kind of like knowledge. Maybe you guys also have the gift of premonition. Maybe you kind of get a sense or feeling of, it's almost like you kind of know what's going to happen before it happens, and it probably happens often. Like this is just, I'm going to give you guys an example, right? Like say, for example, you're watching a movie and you kind of almost always know how to predict the ending. And people may find it annoying, but it's just like, you kind of know. That's it. Like, you read the book. you have access to that, I mean, time is technically relative, right? The past, at least this is how, this is the belief that I align with, is that time exists all at once. Time is relative. It's past, present, future is happening all at once. Just because we can't necessarily perceive it in like our human form or with the human mind too well doesn't mean that that's not the case. And I feel like because of that all happening at once, you kind of like tap into that dimensional energy, right? Or that time space energy, and you can see, kind of like foresee future outcomes. So I think you guys could have like premonitions too. Maybe you could have premonition like dreams. And I feel like that is kind of channeled through your art as well, through your creativity, like your insights you kind of put on do creatively. Okay. And then in regards to how people perceive you or how people see you, I think people definitely see you as somebody who has this ability to just, like, people see you like in such a happy, good light, They see you as somebody who's creative, who's artistic. They're like, what is the next, they're almost sometimes wonder, like, what is this next project that this person is going to be working on? They see you as somebody who's fun. And you remember how I said, like, you kind of help, you have this strength, right? And almost like a gift of being able to create happy memories with people. So, like, people always see you afterwards, like, they think back and they just associate, sorry guys, I had an itch in my back. They just associate you kind of like with fun and creativity. They see you as super creative. And I think that they kind of can sense that you guys are divinely guided in some way, or they feel like your creativity is coming from a higher place. If you are an artist, like, they're kind of waiting and looking to see your work. I see, they just really see you as somebody who has a lot of joy. Like, there's fulfillment surrounding you, like the energy of fulfillment surrounding you. And I think it's like that abundance and prosperity mindset and energy, and people are kind of picking up on that. And people see you as super creative and artistic. Like, that's like the biggest thing that's coming through here. And I think they kind of see this seductive quality about you too. Like this, whether it's super open or not, I'm getting that it's not 100% like openly out there for some of you guys, but I get that, like, they kind of pick up on this subtle, seductive energy. And you know what it is? Creativity, right? That's the sacral chakra. So being in that state of creativity and like really creating art and all of this stuff constantly, your sacral chakra gets involved a lot. And the sacral chakra also rules like sensuality and libido, kind of, right? So I feel like you guys may have like sacral chakra energy that comes from you, but it also feels like heart and throat kind of too, because of your expression. But and so with this card, I'm actually kind of getting like people pick up on that subtle, sensual, seductive kind of quality of that sacral chakra energy as well. So there's like this undertone of kind of slightly being turned on by your presence. Like, it's kind of alluring. And I noticed in this particular group, I'm saying kind of a lot. So maybe you guys say that, or I don't know, maybe I'm just having a day, a moment. But people definitely see you as somebody who's extremely creative and just like a ball of joy, like you could have heavy Leo energy too, but they're just like so much light around you and kindness and fun. Like, you make people feel alive. People feel happy to be in your presence. And there's almost something kind of romantic-esque or like a slight romantic nature about you. Like, you're artsy, you're artsy, you're fun, you're quirky, but not as quirky, I would say, as group number 5. But you have your little unique things. You have your like style that's unique to you. Maybe you like the artist kind of style as well. But I feel like people are definitely curious about like your work, and you could get people asking you like, hey, so when are you coming out with like something new, or are you going to be doing an exhibit? Do you show your art somewhere? So I really feel like you guys are artists in some way, shape, or form. Maybe you guys do pottery as well. And I know I'm not mentioning like singing and stuff like that. Maybe some of you guys could be like really good at doing makeup too. But I'm not getting as much of like a musical kind of vibe from you guys. That's not to say that it's not there. It's just the majority, right? Because this, at some point, I don't know who's watching this reading and at what point they're watching it. So it could have some kind of music connotation too. But for me, this seems more like arts that you kind of can get physical with, like pottery, painting, crafting something. You could even be like makeup, because of the brushes, right? Like stage work, like acting or being on a stage. I guess if there's singing involved, it would be kind of like either musical theater or opera, as opposed to just being like a singer, because they kind of have to put on like this face of makeup, right? Yeah, and people are kind of like, they sense this Venetian energy around you, right? Okay, now let's see how divine perceives you. You've got the Hanged Man, Six of Pentacles. It's so funny because a lot of the same cards are kind of coming out, and some of them have different meanings, and some of them have the same meanings as like the other piles. And then you got Eight of Pentacles and 10 of Cups. Okay, guys, I'm just going to take a sip of my tea. Sorry, one sec. Yeah, divine sees you as this divine artist. Like, that's kind of how they're saying it to me, too. They're kind of like, this person, she or he, they are a divine artist, you know? They channel through divine art. And I'm seeing somebody again who's either doing like a painting or ceramic stuff, or kind of like resin work, or pottery, just something kind of physical that you can do with your hands. Or maybe there's multiple kinds of art that you do. But yeah, they're saying like, you're a divine artist and you're kind of sharing your art with the world, right? And you're meant to be doing that. You're sharing your art with the world, and they want you to be doing that. And they're seeing you as this being who's just feeling fully happy and expressed. Like, maybe you sharing your art is relatively new, or maybe some of you are in that middle area, but because you're doing the things that bring you fulfillment and joy, right? Like, you're being one with your creativity, which is part of your kind of calling and mission in this life. It's like you're experiencing this incredible, immense joy, and divine is so happy for you too. Like, that's how they perceive you. They see you as this like being, this child of light and joy. And it's interesting because on the bottom of this deck, you've got the 10 of Pentacles. And then you've also got on the bottom of this deck, the Knight of Pentacles. So again, I'm getting that like artist kind of slow and steady, but like almost like a victory, like a slow walk, you know, celebrating the victory. And this completion, and I don't know why this cup is this card is kind of making me think of pottery, but yeah, you guys are like very creative and divinely guided. I mean, this is just confirmation of that. And in regards to the Hanged Man, I would say like the Hanged Man is saying like, you guys are really in tune with your intuit. Like, you're really in tune with your guidance from your spirit guides and stuff. And you're in this place where you follow the guidance, your gut feelings, right? Your instincts. There's a T at the end of that word. And yeah, I mean, I feel like I know these are kind of like basic meanings, but yeah. Oh, and maybe some of you guys do nail art, you know, like you work in a salon or something. Whatever it is that you do, you add your really creative twist to it, you know, and it's very unique. And Divine is happy that you're sharing this kind of creativity with the world. You're sharing art with the world, creative expression. You're bringing in this light-hearted, creative, kind, divine energy into people's lives and into the world. You add that extra vibration by being in this creative space. That extra vibration of like bringing heaven to earth in a sense, right? By being in this creative space. It's like your happy place. It's part of your nature. You're just being uniquely true to yourself, you know, and the way that you create art, people love it. There's something unique about it. It's like, it's got your own personal twist and touch, you know, and it's great. It's incredible. I would love to see what kind of art you guys do. or what your art or craft is, right? It's like a crafts person. And they see you as somebody who's dedicated to, like, you really put in the effort, like you love it so much that you kind of just keep doing it, you know, and it brings you joy. Like you're in this happy, joyful place because you're living a life that's in alignment and full of alignment, you know. So let's just get your dice as well. Okay, you've got Aquarius, the moon, number 3, which is funny because number 3 is like Gemini energy, but it's also the Empress's number 3. Then you've got 13, which is death. Okay, with the 13, I'm getting you guys are kind of like, you can have like a bit of a mystical side to you, you know? And that could be like the part of you that's kind of eccentric, like maybe you like kind of having witchy vibes, you know? You dabble in like oracle card readings and tarot card readings or some kind of divination for funsies. You like crystals and like crystal water and trying stuff like that, you know? And with the 3, I'm getting like the extra emphasis on your creativity and that kind of Empress energy. The Aquarius also, I feel like that's just the energy of how, I don't know if I mentioned like air signs with you guys or not. I can't recall. I mean, I don't recall, but yeah, I mean, with the moon, I'm also getting like creativity. Like there's extra emphasis on your creativity. And with this Aquarius, it's also making me think of how you guys kind of, like I was saying, you kind of raise the vibration, right? With your creative energy by putting in this joyful creativity, like birthing this art of yours. You kind of help uplift the planet. Like that's what I was mentioning about that. That's what this Aquarius is making me think of. Like a confirmation for that uplifting of the planet. Like the shift, the vibrational energy that you guys kind of usher in because of it. But yeah, you guys, you sound like, and the energy that I'm also getting from you guys, by the way, throughout the reading is just like excitement, like joy, just happy, you know, pure happiness. And it's kind of incredible. Like I feel super happy ending this reading. Like I just feel super happy, and it's a nice way to end a reading, you know. Thank you for that, guys. Thank you for lending your energy in that way, for bringing that kind of joy and happiness. I think that's the way that you are that kind of presence for people in general. And you know, that joy and happiness, that's how divine sees you too. And I think that it in part comes from that kind of expression of your creativity. Like there's just so much joy and happiness. You guys are incredible. You're amazing. Thank you so much for, you know, this joy and what it is that you guys do for this planet. And yeah, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. I'm wishing you lots of love and light. I also offer private readings if you guys are interested. The ways to contact me are in the description down below. You guys are incredible and amazing. I'm sending you so much love and light, and blessings to you guys, okay? I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye.